Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
They might need to re-identify. Yes, Allen Stiles. Sacktown Sports taking up to 2 p.m. Kyle Ledbetter behind the glass for us, of course. Going to get you into your weekend, but we know Drive Guys are up after us. Another chance to win Thomas Rhett tickets. That's coming up at 1 o'clock. But yeah, as far as the Beam is concerned, you're home for the Beam team. If a beam burns if a beam lights in the woods, does anybody know? If the Beam is part of a subpar team, does anybody care? The Sacramento Kings are just not it right now. And I know somebody that 916 from a couple days ago, I told you after you beat the Rockets, you were playing that music. Look, I still am going to enjoy myself. And honestly, that's more of a reason to celebrate the wins because we don't know how often we're going to see them. They got to figure it out. They have another opportunity against the Spurs tonight, who they have not beaten. The Spurs have had their number. Wembanyama has looked like the Wembanyama of 3-4 years in the future against the Kings. And it's proven time. Okay? We've done blame pie. We've had conversations. The bottom line is they're just not good enough right now. They're not good enough. Nobody on that roster is good enough besides maybe the guys the Isaac Jones of the world, the guys you didn't expect to carry the team. Nobody's been good enough. De'Aaron Fox last night was not good enough. DeMar DeRozan, I understand he's trying to get to a spot. Nobody else can make a shot, can't throw a rock into the ocean. But DeMar DeRozan, it looked clunky. Keegan Murray, a double-double. But again, I don't know if it's a Monty McNair thing based on the roster. But Keegan Murray being asked to lock up Ja Morant and make threes, which he just can't do right now. He can't do it. He had a double-double. It wasn't a bad game. But you need more from Keegan. How much can you ask him to do? And oh, wait, by the way, maybe we could spell Keegan Murray a little bit by bringing in a future elite premier defender, but Keon Ellis got 2 minutes. He also shoots 44% from three. Didn't matter. Can't get out of their own way. I don't understand. Look, Mike Brown, they're on these road trips. There's not many questions that get asked because not that many media members travel. So there weren't any Keon Ellis questions that I heard during the post game that the Kings posted. I would assume that whenever they're available again, somebody will bring it up. Mike Brown was asked about the bench in totality, and he said the Mike Brown stuff. He said the coach stuff. Hey, that's for Wes. That's for Monty. So we'll get into all that. But what does a bench matter when you're not going to play your guys? I don't know that it's doghouse. I don't know what it is with Keon Ellis. And somebody on social media yesterday said, hey, Keon Ellis, he's undrafted, blah, 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 blah. He's not the savior. Nobody said he was. But when you get outscored 60-15, I don't know. I stopped playing after freshman basketball to focus on baseball. But I don't know. Maybe you could mix in somebody else.
Maybe your second leading scorer off the bench?
I don't know. Look, like I said, I'm no Mike Krzyzewski, but you get Keegan Murray 1 for 7 from 3. De'Aaron Fox 0 for 7 from 3. Kevin Huerter 0 for 6 from 3. If Keon Ellis is in the doghouse, throw the whole team in the doghouse, including the coaching staff. Ja Morant gets ejected, and it wasn't a foul, by the way. Look, DeMar DeRozan, he's on our team, so that's fine, but it wasn't a foul. He's hey, young buck, let me teach you something. It's clunky. He got his points. There was a specific situation, and John Morant got ejected at the 6:45 mark. Right before that play, okay, John Morant tried to do the same thing. Excuse me, DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan did not get the foul call. Top left of the wing, one of the 2 minutes that Keon Ellis saw daylight, Keon Ellis is sitting there wide open. Three-pointer, left side of the wing. DeMar DeRozan is trying to take John Morant to school. John Morant doesn't go for it, essentially did what he did a play later and didn't get the foul call. DeMar DeRozan misses the shot. Brandon Clark leaks out, and Brandon Clark scores a transition bucket. Terrible basketball. It's terrible basketball. And here's the thing. Let me tell y'all a little story real quick, okay? And I promise I'll be quick. Because I was talking with my buddies last night, and, I'm very honest about my story. If those of you who don't know the full story, I was a recruited walk-on at Sonoma State. Turns out there were 18 other recruited walk-ons at Sonoma State, so I had to go to a junior college. I went to a junior college. After that, I got to Temple University. I loved my time there. But we stunk. We weren't good. Now, it's not that we weren't talented, but we were not good. Well, a couple years later, or about a year later after I graduated, the program actually got cut. So the program got cut. So guys are able to transfer. This is before the transfer portal. Guys are able to do whatever they want to do. So this is a team who never made a mid-major conference, who never made the Atlantic 10 conference tournament. So you would think that's a bad team, Allen. That's a bad team. But what if I told you that on that team, we had 5 draft picks, 3 other guys got signed, and when the program did get cut, our transfers went to NC State, they went to VCU, they went to Old Dominion, which is where Justin Verlander went. We had talent. Now, whether it was we had a new coach that was trying to figure out his way, no problems with them. There was a culture issue there. I'm not saying there's a culture issue with the Kings, but you got to look at what was going on. So at Temple University, our field was 30 minutes away. That was a problem. You had to finish school, get on a bus. You couldn't just walk to the field. That was a problem. Logistics didn't make sense. The culture wasn't right. We had the talent, but we couldn't put it together. The program blows up. People get drafted. People get signed. Man, why couldn't you guys win games? Sometimes it's deeper than the roster. Sometimes it's deeper than a collection of players where it does make sense. That's not a shot at Mike Brown. That's not necessarily a shot at Monty McNair. All I'm saying is that something isn't right. Something isn't right. So how do the Kings make it right? We are past talking about, and Carmichael Dave, I know he's going across the pond. Gritty effort, but you can't make threes. How many times are we going to rinse and repeat and say the same things? I'm tired of it. I'm trying to be in a good mood. It's Friday. I'm tired of having to sit here and talk about what the Kings could do. I just don't believe they're going to do it. I do not believe that this collection of players is good enough to do anything significant in the league this season, in the association. I don't. And there's in a tough place right now because everybody else is trying to figure out. It's good that they know that they're not good enough, or at least I would hope that they know that. By the way, this could be a monumental freezing takes segment in a couple months. And dang it, I hope it is. I don't know, but it could be. But you stink. You're not good enough, but all the other teams are trying to figure it out. And the teams that are on the cusp, so now all of them will be looking for the Cam Johnsons, everyone. Everybody's on the table. In my opinion, we went over last week the different directions they could go. I promise you, this is still a Friday. We're not going to let the Kings and their inability to make a three, if their life depended on it, ruin our weekend. I promise you that. But it's disgusting. Keon Ellis, 2 minutes, disgusting. It's unacceptable. De'Aaron Fox, Ja Morant gets ejected. You can't figure it out. Unacceptable. DeMar DeRozan, no Ja Morant, unacceptable. Domantas Sabonis, no shot. No shot attempt in the fourth quarter. They have no identity. They have no identity. Zero. Did anybody not talk to De'Aaron Fox and tick him off? Enough, man. They got to grow up or it's going to blow up. That's literally what it is right now. Grow up or it's going to blow up. And you're running out of time. And I'm not going to, like I said, I don't call things, I don't say must wins anymore. What's the point? This team is not good enough until it is. Until it is. All right. We have a lot to get into. We got notes from the game. Whether or not it is still early, somebody can talk me off the cliff. That's fine. We can at least try. So we have all that coming up. We have the post game from Mike Brown. I'll give you a hint. He gives a ton of credit to the other team. Everybody, Katie on the broadcast, credit to the other team. Everybody's getting credit from the other team. When do the Kings get credit? When does a team? Because Ime Udoka didn't even say that. He was complaining. When is the last time a coach or another broadcast has said, man, credit to the Kings for how they just came out and just balled and did their thing? We keep giving credit to other teams every day. Every day. So we got the Mike Brown post game. We have the breakdown from Ja Morant and De'Aaron Fox. That matchup, that was gross. Mick Akers from the Las Vegas Review Journal. That's coming up at 11. We're going to give ourselves a nice palate cleanser from the Kings. That's at 11 to talk some A's and what yesterday's documents being signed means for the stadium in Vegas or the A's possibly staying in Sacramento. And then we get back into just the nooks and crannies of what happened last night. And a lot of people saying some things about one DeMar DeRozan. Hey, we've seen this story before. ESPN put out an article, said, hey, this is what DeMar DeRozan does. Is it too early? You tell me. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st Annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the Capitol for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st Annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th with Shriners Children's Northern California, Gurnick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at sacktownsports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports. Taking you up to 2 p.m. And the Sacramento Kings lose again. They have now, and it's funny, a couple people talking in the Sack chat and 916-339-1140. We can open up the phone lines. Want to get as many people in as we can before McAkers. Obviously, you have 4 hours, but we want to get you while you're feeling it. Some people aren't able to listen for all 4 hours, so whenever you're available, we like to make the phone lines available. People are kind of comparing, and obviously I wasn't here during the dog days of the playoff drought, and people are trying to compare the drought to this, to say, hey, we've seen bad situations before, you're doing too much, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's to me, it's more about expectations, right? At what point during that drought did you have as high of expectations than you did for this season? That's my question. Because, if you go into a season thinking you stink, I mean, sure, you don't get hurt because you weren't expecting to be good. I think a lot of people expected the Kings to be good, but if you didn't expect the Kings to be good, sure, you're fine.
Yeah, I call it the burden of expectations, right? Which is why over the years I've learned to kind of adjust expectations and set them really low in sports, because expectations ruin a lot of the fun, man. It's why I've kind of said the Beam Team season was as fun as it's going to get. That doesn't mean they're not going to win more games, but there was no expectation of anything. They had gone 17 years without making the playoffs, and all of a sudden they're beating the Nuggets and they're dropping 150 points in games and having 176, 175 shootouts against the Clippers. And, the having no expectations adds to the fun. So I think the burden of expectation is definitely weighing on, I'll say, Kings fans at this point. I don't know about the players necessarily, but I think a lot of the sentiment is around the expectation that adding DeMar DeRozan this offseason would improve upon last year instead of now where they're 10-13.
Yeah, and somebody I was talking to, I think it was a Nuggets writer, they said, and they were essentially we had them on the show, and they were essentially telling Kings fans, you're always going to remember that first run where there's nothing like, even if you don't win a championship, that first run that brings you back to to the NBA world and brings you back to a level of, wow, we have a chance and we're actually in the conversation. There's nothing like it, even if you win a championship after that, because your expectations will forever be changed. The only way the Kings' expectations and fans ever change again is if they blow it up. And even still, the expectation would be, hey, we're blowing it up to eventually get to the OKC level, to eventually get to a level that we haven't been to before. So even when you blow it up, after you return to a form of relevancy, it's not the same. So I know everybody enjoyed the Beam Team season. I know they did, but at the same time, this is a situation where if you didn't have expectations, sure, but I think a lot of people did. And you trade Tyrese, you bring in DeMontis Sabonis. De'Aaron Fox is just confusing night in, night out, whether he wants to be elite or not. He says all the right things. We know he does. You bring in DeMar DeRozan, and I kind of got on DeMar DeRozan in the first segment. To me, DeMar DeRozan, we've seen him literally the game prior in Houston. He did a 360 fake layup and pass out, and he passed up a bunch of open shots to try to get guys going. So I understand that he was just thinking, I'm trying to get into takeover mode. It just wasn't enough because they couldn't get stops on the other end. They couldn't get rebounds. They couldn't do anything. So I would say that it's less about DeMar, even though that was my initial feeling, thinking the DeMar thing to me came off like, and Kyle, this might be you because I know you're, what do you go, 6'1", 6'2"?
6'2" on a good day.
So you probably have been this guy, but there are games where there is a ridiculous mismatch in a game. And the team, let's say you're on the team that has that mismatch, you actually overuse the mismatch to where the whole thing is kind of clunky, and there's the one point guard saying, no, give it back to Kyle again, The whole game has no flow. They finally double you, and then you pass it out, and a guy who hasn't shot all game, could be Allen Stiles, he bricks it. That's what it felt like to me last night. What DeMar DeRozan was doing was working to some degree, but there was no flow. It was clunky. Nobody was going. Somebody on the text line, I believe it was Chris the mom. Yeah, and Chris, you're spot on. There was Malik Monk his hands were basically saying, give me the rock. Malik was on the right side of the wing, 3-point shot, and Malik was actually one of the seldom Kings that was making 3-pointers. He was 4 for 9, and DeMar did the same thing. And Malik's hands were dang near shaking. So it's just a weird mode that people get in. We get the growing pains, but you can't beat. They've been given so many gifts. The reason I'm not doing the growing pains thing is, and I get it, there have been injuries. They've been given so many gifts throughout their growing pains that they really did trick off this situation. You get no Ja Morant, and no Zach Edey didn't even play. I know they're missing Trey Lyles, and Zach Edey's a rookie, and G.G. Jackson, but no Ja Morant for the last 6 minutes of the game at a tie ball game. That's literally, y'all, play better than the Grizzlies for 6 minutes without Ja Morant. Can you do that?
Well, also they gifted them the tech, which was a free throw, and then right after that, Malik got a layup on the possession after the tech. So now you've got 6 minutes left in the game. Ja Morant's gone, and you're up 3 points.
That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. Before that, you got to play the Spurs twice, and I know the Spurs. I have even been in the camp of the Spurs were going to be a bit better than what Vegas thought. But come on, you're 0-2 against the Spurs. You lost to the Blazers. You've lost to some bad teams. So we understood there was going to be a transition, but that's more about losing to the Thunder. Right? And losing to teams that are the Timberwolves, that's fine. But you're losing to teams, I don't give a dang if it's your first time playing together. You have to beat these teams, and they can't do it.
Well, so let me ask you a question based on what you just said. It felt like it was clunky for the Kings, and they were trying to isolate with certain plays. Didn't it feel like the Grizzlies were also kind of doing that also? With Jaren Jackson Jr. matched up against Sabonis, it felt like at times they were trying to hunt there, and then it didn't work out.
But the bench never cooled off, though, for them.
See, I think that's where the game was lost, right? The Grizzlies' offense didn't execute all that well consistently throughout the game, and yet at the end they were able to pull it out because of some corner threes, some offensive rebounds, and Desmond Bane getting a rebound over Sabonis, and then coming down and hitting a transition bucket. It's like they only had a few plays that kind of decided the game because both teams really weren't executing what they wanted to do on offense.
Well, but the bench for the Grizzlies, again, 60-15, that was the difference. That was the difference. Santi Aldama, and these are guys that I'm high on all these guys. Santi Aldama, I've always liked. Jake LaRavia, when I was covering the Warriors, I wanted the Warriors to draft Jake LaRavia. I think he went either one pick before who the Warriors ended up taking. I don't know who Jay Huff is. I'm just going to be 1,000 with you. I don't know who that is.
Jay Huff had the best game of his career last night.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
He's their backup center, basically.
He was a plus 30. He was a plus 30 on the night, 11 points.
I had the stat later on, but Jay Huff's previous high in the box plus minus was plus 17, and he was plus 30.
That's the classic Kings. Marcus Smart. Really? Marcus Smart giving you buckets.
Dude, 4 for 8 from 3 after, I think, against the Mavericks. He went like 0 for 6. Like, honestly, like, tip your hat. If Marcus Smart's going to go 4 for 8 from 3, like, damn, fine. We'll live with that one.
And I'm pretty sure he actually had 5. He stepped on the line on one of the corner threes. So he was cooking. But I guess the thing, to your point, Kyle, hey, if Marcus Smart drops 18 off the bench, fine. But you still can't have Santi Aldama drop 15, LaRavia drop 12, and Jay Huff. It was a classic Kings, or have I been in Sacramento long enough to say Kangs? Because that's what it was. Jay Huff with a plus 30 and 11 points. That's Kangs to me.
It was 2 stretches, right? It was the end of the third quarter, and it was the fourth, like right at the end of the game, right? Those were the 2 stretches where you looked up and it was like, oh yeah, this is why the Kings have lost games throughout the season. It was that 15-0 stretch. It was they were up 101-98 and they end up losing 115-110. It's like it was 2 stretches of the game that really just knocked them out. And at that time, it was, I think, the lineup of Desmond Bane, Aldama, Jay Huff. I think LaRavia was on the floor at that point. It was like it wasn't the main guys. It was like the bench unit plus Desmond Bane was the one who was kind of going on the run.
Second highest scoring bench in the league. That's the Grizzlies. Second highest scoring bench in the league. And they showed it. Balanced scoring. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in double figures. 7. Now, the Kings had 5 guys in double figures, all the starters. And Isaac Jones did have 9 points. Kevin Huerter had 6. It's just not good enough. Even the distribution of the minutes. Kevin Huerter played 24. Nobody else played over 20 or got close to 20. Isaac Jones played 16. Meanwhile, for the Grizzlies, Marcus Smart played 25 minutes. Santi Aldama played dang near 30. Jay Huff played 20. Jake LaRavia played 28 minutes. 28 minutes.
I had the stat later on, too. At this point in the season, the Grizzlies bench has 6 players who have scored over 90 points, which is basically like 4 to 5 a game, basically. They have 6 different players that have scored 90 points off the bench this year. Comparatively, the Kings have 2. It's Malik Monk and it's Keon Ellis. And Memphis has all 6 guys. That Luke Kennard barely even played, but Luke Kennard even has had big games.
And I don't know maybe they should. What's the deal? Is he in the doghouse? Go get Luke Kennard. Go get Luke Kennard. Go. He's a lefty too. I love him. Go get. What is the problem with Luke Kennard? Can we get Luke Kennard to Sacramento? All right, we are way over time. We are going to hear about that from our boss. We got to get to the other side. Brandon, we see you. Brandon's going to kick off the phone calls. We also hear from Mike Brown. Got to give their guys credit. Got to give them credit. We will hear from Mike Brown. We will continue the conversation. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Spurs. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the San Francisco 49ers.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday. Getting out the door to a cool start with some areas of patchy fog. As we head through the afternoon, expect to see mainly sunny skies and light winds. Highs today will peak in the mid to upper 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
This report is brought to you by the San Francisco 49ers. Be there December 12th for Thursday Night Football at Levi's Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers take on the Los Angeles Rams. This battle of NFC West rivals is presented by Rakuten. Tickets are available at 49ers.com/tickets.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Holidays at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Seasons change, but if you hope to stay healthy, your body needs to stay active year-round, whether that's in the gym or on the trail or at work, and that's where the Good Feet store can help. Good Feet's personalized arch support system supports all 4 arches, relieving pain in your feet, knees, hips, and back. And Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Visit goodfeet.com for an appointment or stop in for a free fitting. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville, and in Reno on South Virginia Street.
Hello, everyone. It's your favorite president, Donald J. Trump, here to introduce something really special. You're going to love it. My new Trump watches. It's one of the best watches made. Wear it proudly on your wrist, and everyone will know what it's for, who it's for, what it represents. Get your Trump watch right now. Go to gettrumpwatches.com. It's Trump time.
That's right. President Trump has won the election, and now he's released his official Trump watches. Celebrate this historic victory with a Trump watch that stands for strength, leadership, and winning. But don't wait, because these limited edition watches won't be around for long. Go to gettrumpwatches.com now to get your Trump watch before they're gone. It's an easy URL to remember. gettrumpwatches.com. Don't miss your chance to own a piece of history. Go now to gettrumpwatches.com and get your watch today. This ad paid for by the Best Watches on Earth LLC. See gettrumpwatches.com for details. Trump watches are not intended for investment purposes. Hurry! Go now to gettrumpwatches.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. Hey, like I said, we're still going to have a good time today. We're still going to do our best to have a good time today, all the way up till 2 p.m. 30 minutes. We are joined by Mick Akers of the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I want to ask him about everything that happened yesterday as far as the documents that were approved. And I actually want to ask him about the Raiders as well. And it's been a couple years now as far as the Athletics are concerned. Does anybody care now in Las Vegas? So that's coming up at 11. We will give everybody a nice, like I said, a palate cleanser. You know, when you get sushi and you have the little ginger to break up what you've been eating, that's what's going to be our 11 o'clock segment as we take a little break from the gook from the Sacramento Kings. From the 209, the overturned out of bound call was the dagger. No conclusive evidence. It went out on DeRozan, but we still got screwed. Yeah, it's the out of bounds call. It's the clock issue. Yeah, maybe they're just not very good, because these are things that teams that aren't very good can't overcome. What about the 6 minutes with no Ja Morant? What about that gift? Maybe it was a gift to the Grizzlies because Ja was terrible.
Yeah, he had 8 points, 2 of 13 from the field.
Yeah.
It was
Again,
bad.
I'm not comparing them to a high school team, but it's very similar to like I said when I'm the hit doctor and I'm teaching these kids, hey, let's shut down Ja. Okay, we shut down Ja and couldn't do anything else. No. Just because I said shut down Ja, that doesn't mean let the other guys go off. Just because I said that doesn't mean let Santi Aldama have 15 points. It doesn't mean let Marcus Smart go off for 18. That's not what it means. Desmond Bane, 18. You know, they do one thing, they can't do another. 916-339-1140. Let's open up the phone lines on this beautiful, beautiful Friday. Brandon wants to be the first caller of the day. What's up, Brandon? What you got for us?
Hey, man, speaking of a palate cleanser, I'm glad we got a game tonight because we need a cleanser for sure.
Brandon, I'd rather not. I don't even want the game, Brandon. Keep the game.
Hey, here's my thing, man. I don't understand is I don't feel confident ever that there's going to be anyone on our bench that's going to give us 10 points. And the only one that I did start seeing some confidence in and that had a breakout game was Keon Ellis. And now the guy can't even find the court. I don't understand it. Do you guys know any more about what's going on with that? Because I'm lost right now, and I'm praying to the basketball gods that when Devin Carter comes back, that maybe he can be a spark off the bench. But we're missing that spark. If you want to take Malik off the bench, that's fine, but you got to have somebody there that's going to give you something. And playing, Crowder 12 minutes and Herter 24, and then you get DMPs in 2 minutes from Ellis. I just don't understand what we're doing.
Yeah, I don't either, Brandon. I'll tell you what it is. It's malpractice. As far as what I know, it's malpractice. There is no report that we've seen about Keon Ellis. He played, right? He played 2 minutes. So last night, it felt, based on what was posted on the Kings YouTube, and we're going to play that Mike Brown sound just to start, and then a little bit later in the show, we have when he talks about the bench in particular. I believe it was really only Chris Biederman asking questions. It's kind of a skeleton crew when they're on the road. No questions about Keon Ellis. Jake Gayden was asked Mike Brown about Keon before this game, and Mike Brown basically said the cliche, yeah, he's got to stay ready. He's going to get his time, whatever. This second time around, and I'll confirm with Frankie and Brandon when that next availability is. I do think somebody's going to say, okay, what's going on here? Right? I mean, the 2 minutes, that might have been worse than the DNP. So you get Keegan Murray chasing around. You get Keegan Murray chasing around Ja Morant all night and did a pretty good job, but now he can't score. He still managed to get a double-double, but he can't shoot. It's just unnecessary. You're just getting in your own way. You're getting in your own way. 916-339-1140. Let's go to Will. Wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Will? What you got?
Styles, I like you, man. I agree with you 99.9% of the time. But when you did the postmortem earlier, it's ridiculous. You have to keep doing them. And then you at the end, you say, "Well, I don't want to put it on Brown and McNair. It's Brown. Can't you see it's Brown? Look, you don't play Keon in the game before that, and then you play him 2 minutes, and you got Herter shooting bricks, and you got Fox forcing shots. You can't take Fox out. He's the star. He's gonna get his minutes. But how Herter deserved 25 minutes.
Yeah,
he missed all his. I think he missed all his threes.
But Will, I said everybody needs to be in the doghouse, including the coaching staff. You heard me say that.
No, but at the end you say, "Well, I don't want to put it on Coach and McNair." It's Coach. Coach, look, why is Orlando Robinson on the team? Try the guy because Domas sometimes he's a crybaby, like you say in the fourth quarter. He wasn't even there. He didn't take a shot, and he's whining all the time. He gets his double doubles, but you got to mix it up sometime, man. And then Herter getting all those minutes. That was ridiculous, man.
I hear you. I hear you, Will. Thanks for the call. Have a good weekend. I did say Mike Brown is responsible, Will. Come on. Always trying to play me. 209 says, get Mike Brown on the phone and find out what the heck is going on. We demand answers on Keon Ellis. Yeah, that's just not how it works.
We'll get him on Monday.
Yeah,
there's game at home on Sunday.
Well, they're talking about getting him on, I think, the phone right now.
Gotta wait 2 games.
Yeah, 209. That's not how it works, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Steve, who wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Steve? Happy Friday. What you got for us?
That you brought up the coaching staff because Luke Louts is a disaster as a defensive coordinator. We have done the same crap for the entire year, not being able to guard threes, not being able to switch in a way that is professional. And then Jay Triano on offense, we don't set any screens. What we do basically is set fake screens. Domas will come out, set a quarter of a second screen, and then immediately roll to the basket. We don't do anything to get our players open. And and I agree with you that we don't have enough bench talent. But when you set Keon Ellis down, who is not arguably, but clearly the best three-point shooter on the team, he needs to be more aggressive offensively. But when we go 1 for 20 with Kevin and Deanna and Keegan, who's a disaster, we have some coaching issues that really need to be addressed.
Yeah, no, thanks for the call, Steve. I'll put it to you like this. The Keon Ellis stuff has essentially made national news. It's made national news. There are people that cover the NBA on a national level that are checking in on Sacramento, thinking, what in God's name is happening out there, looking at the box scores and seeing a DNP from Keon Ellis, and then 2 minutes wondering if he's injured, wondering what the deal is. This is not good. This is not good. And again, Keon Ellis is not the savior. Keon Ellis is not going to fix all of the Kings' problems. The issue is when you already have a thin bench, the malpractice comes in, and I see Tony Harvey on the SAC chat saying Allen's ready to file a lawsuit against the Kings. No. I do love Law and Order, though. Shout out Olivia Benson.
You do?
Oh, I love SVU in particular.
Would not have guessed that.
Really? I feel like that tracks for me. But when you look at the bench and how thin it is, that's the malpractice. You can't lose games and you know, when a game ends, we lost a timeout, or we still have a timeout, but they don't roll over, the game's over, you didn't use it, or you didn't use a challenge. You have Keon Ellis on the bench, and you know, whether it's a doghouse thing, whatever, you just leave too much to think about, right? Maybe Keon goes 0 for 4 himself from 3 and has a terrible game, but at least you can say that you exhausted all options. You can't be as desperate as the Kings are right now and not exhaust all options. Okay. That is the issue. Okay, so Mike Brown doesn't like going further than 9 off the bench, right? And part of that is they got to have Fox, DeRozan, or Sabonis on the floor at any given time. Although there was that one funny lineup yesterday with McLaughlin and Crowder. Oh my goodness! No, let me read it. It was crazy. It was McLaughlin, Herter, Crowder. So I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and I might get in trouble for saying this. I felt like this was Mike Brown saying, "Monty, what do you want me to do with this?" McLaughlin, Herter, Crowder, Keegan Murray, Isaac Jones. That was either a terrible decision by Mike Brown or Mike Brown trolling Monty McNair. I'm being honest. It was only for like 2.5 minutes. That's 2 minutes too much. I'm not going to go that far into it, but you know what that was? What is it? Bird Box? When you're not supposed to look? What's the one? You're asking the wrong person. That meme where the guy's making her, Chris Verlaud's in there, that meme where the guy's making her look because you're not supposed to open your eyes. That when I saw that lineup, that was me. I think this is 2 different movies. That was me. Don't make me look at that lineup. So anyways, the Mike Brown only goes about 8 deep at any given game mostly. So is the problem there that they need to play more of the guards? Because they have, before we were talking about they have too many guards, right? Too many point guards, too many 2 guards, all that stuff. So is the problem now they need to start playing more of those 2 guards at this point? Because Mike Brown's kind of come to the consensus. It's like, I'm giving you 1 a game. Right now, that 1 off the bench is Kevin Herter. We're going Jay Crowder, and we're going Isaac Jones. Is the issue we need to have more rotating of the guards in and out of the lineup? Or is it, I don't know exactly what the solution is at this point, because Mike Brown's kind of made the call. We only play 8 guys any given game. And maybe now they should say that we have the guys to go 9 or 10 deep when you add. But they're not winning. Why come to these conclusions? You know how many guys? Kyle. They played 10 last night, the Grizzlies did. All healthy double figures. Yes. Scottie Pippen Jr. played 15. That was the least off the bench. That was the lowest amount of minutes that was played yesterday for the Grizzlies. 10 deep. 10. We got to get to the other side. Calls are lining up. Sack Chat is on fire. Same with the text line. Let's continue the conversation. We hear from Mike Brown. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Spurs. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140. Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st Annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the Capitol for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st Annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th with Shriners Children's Northern California, Gurnick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at sacktownsports.com.
Finally here, Wendy's new salted caramel frosty. It's cold, salted, yet perfectly sweet, delicious, and it's at the top of Santa's Christmas list.
At Makita, good enough is never enough. It's not just about the power and runtime of the tool. It's about the power and runtime of the pro. We obsess over fit, finish, and feel. Every detail, from coatings to contours. All to create tools that won't hold you back, so you can build more and never settle. If it's not right, don't put your name on it. Makita, available at the Home Depot.
At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think happy Honda days. Let's explain. Happy is a good thing. We all like happy. Honda stands for quality, reliability, comfort, design, peace of mind, value at resale, and a lot more feel-good words. Days is how long you have left to take advantage of Elk Grove Honda's year-end clearance underway right now. Elk Grove Honda is located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard, or visit us at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
It's better over here. If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has an exclusive rate plan just for you. Right now, get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, you can get one of the latest 5G phones free when you add a line. That's right, a free 5G phone. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. So why wait? At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Just go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 or visit your local store to make the switch.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Free phones up to $300 off with 24 monthly bill credits and qualifying new line for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Contact us before canceling entire account to continue remaining bill credits, and if you pay off device early. See details at T-Mobile.com.
Here comes Floyd, throw over the middle. Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Be there December 12th for Thursday Night Football at Levi Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers take on the Los Angeles Rams.
20, 1 block and he's in.
This battle of NFC West rivals is presented by Rakuten.
Touchdown!
Tickets are available now. Secure your seats today at 49ers.com/tickets.
San Francisco!
It's not your average holiday season. Hold on to your hard hats because starting Monday, December 13th, Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet is unwrapping the biggest power tool sale Sacramento has ever seen. We're turning up the heat with 12 days of unbeatable prices on all your favorite Makita products and much more. Free batteries with tools, free tools with batteries, and bare tools starting at just $99. Come on down and give us a visit at 6701 Power and Road in Sacramento or shop our Christmas deals online at fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet. Better tools, better prices.
It's time now for your 49er injury report, brought to you by Jeremy Winter, attorney at law. He cares because he's been there. In the loss of Buffalo 35-10, Brock Purdy did return from a shoulder injury that sidelined him the week before. But the bad news was Christian McCaffrey, who went down with a knee injury in the first half and did not return. According to head coach Kyle Shanahan, it was a PCL injury that could sideline McCaffrey the rest of the year. That's very bad news indeed for the 49ers, who are now 5-7 on the season.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
About 10 minutes, we will take a brief respite from the Sacramento Kings to talk to Mick Akers, the Las Vegas Review-Journal, talk some A's, talk some a little bit of Raiders as well, what's happening with John Fisher. That's coming up at 11. Then we get back into some more Kings talk. We are going to play this Mike Brown sound, but I want to make sure we get through these calls before we get to Mr. Akers, and the calls are lining up right now. Dwayne, TC, and Jaime, let's go in that order. Let's start with Dwayne. Dwayne, I know you told us, it's got time to go now. It's time to go now. What's up, Dwayne?
Yeah, man, don't anybody can be surprised, because we've been saying this. This is what's going to be like until the roster changes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the position that McNair put Brown in. Now, typically, I stand behind Brown because I don't think this is his fault. What's he supposed to do with this, bro?
Mm-hmm.
There's no consistent rotation. Every other team, everybody knows their role. So at the end of the game, they're solid, right?
Mm-hmm.
It hurts us at the end of the day. Yeah, we go up and down all game long, bucket. And then at the end, the other team turns it on, they wind up getting us.
Yeah.
Right. Now, the problem I got with Brown right now is, though, and I'm still going to stand behind this, I think he's getting frustrated, bro. So that December 15th is looking real far away now. Remember we talked about that?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Cannot fall out of this thing before the trade. Otherwise, McNair, you got to go, man.
Yeah.
It's far hard on you, man. Now, the problem I got with Brown is this. Last night, you got Keegan going 1 for 7. You got Herter doing what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And you still don't put Keon in?
I don't get it.
Getting that personal?
Yeah, I don't get it, Dwayne. Thanks for the call. We want to get through the rest of them. It's almost, and I don't think it's personal, but it might be more, I don't want it to look like I made a mistake. So now I'm going to compound the mistake, or, hey, these are just the rotations we were going with and we won last game. The problem is this is a game-by-game thing. And by the way, that great win against the Rockets from a couple nights ago, the Rockets lost to the Warriors last night with no Steph Curry and no Draymond Green. Now, maybe you could say, well, they're just sputtering and the Kings started it. My whole point is that was supposed to be a really good win, and it wasn't a back-to-back either. And they just lost to the Warriors with Jonathan Kuminga scoring a career high in points. So that Rockets game, it's a great game. It was still a great game, but like we said, we don't know where the Rockets are going to be to end the season. TC and Jaime, let's go with TC. What's up, TC? What you got for us?
Alan, what's up, man? You got me?
I got you loud and clear, man.
All right, for sure, man. So listen, hey, I like the last caller, man. I'm with Brown, man, and I'm a stand with Brown, right? The only problem, like I said, like everybody, right? The only problem is with Keon Ellis, right? So we don't know the ins and outs of that. And also, another problem I got with Brown, we're all stuck on this. You have to play a 7-8 man rotation. No, you don't, bro. You can play 15 guys off the bench if you want. Some teams have to do that, and some teams are successful like that. And we're probably one of those teams, bro. When one guy ain't got it, Kevin, you don't just stick to that, bro. We might have to go to Kobe. I know we've seen Kobe. I know we've seen Atlanta. I know we've seen these guys. But the last game wasn't the next game's performance, right? So we might have to dig deeper in our bench, bro, until we can make some moves and get some solidified guys. I didn't have a problem with the rotation last night. Other than Keon not playing, Brown has to dig deeper in the bench. I know it sounds crazy, and I know everybody, that's just a saying. That's a saying that goes around the league like, oh, you only have to play a 7-8 man rotation. No, you don't, bro. You can play all 15 guys, and I think that's what type of team we are, bro. We just have to throw guys out there. If the starting five ain't getting it, and then the first couple guys we bring off, like a McLaughlin or a Crowder, you guys ain't getting it. Okay, Kobe, you're up. Okay, Orlando, you're up. Who's going to give me some right now? You got to try it, brother. You got to go out trying without and not going out without, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, TC. You were breaking up just a little bit at the end, so we got to move on while you were still clear and hot to go like Chapel Roan. Let's get to Jaime. Wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Jaime? What you got for us?
Styles was good, man. I love the show, the takes. Hey, I'm pissed off. I was pissed off after that loss last night.
Man.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it simple, man. I don't think our bench, when the guys come in, like they just gotta hit a little harder, man. They gotta hit a little harder. They gotta crash the board harder, so that especially like last night, our guards can get back and play some defense. We don't get those cherry picks. Those cherry picks pretty much cost us the game. So I think we gotta hit a lot harder. Send them to the free throw line. Foul them, send them to the free throw line. And I don't know if the starters got to go back to playing 40 minutes, then that's what it is. So they close that, they get a nice gap.
Yeah.
So our bench has some room to breathe. If the bench is coming in, trying to pick up, trying to compete with whoever might be out there with the game tied on the line, that's a lot of pressure for the bench. Keon Ellis, get him out there. I mean, it's simple. Get him out there. He's going to knock down some threes. he's going to do something. He's going to be a dog out there. I don't care. You know, we got to get it now. You know, there's no tomorrow. This right now. The time is now.
Yeah.
Thanks
for the call. Thanks for the call, Jaime. Well, here's the thing, Jaime. As I look at the 3-pointers, and thank you for the kind words, Jaime. I didn't want to cut you off, but we appreciate it. Here's the thing: we can't talk about the starters playing more minutes. Domantas Sabonis 36, DeMar DeRozan 35, Keegan Murray 40, De'Aaron Fox 38, Malik Monk 32. They can't play more than that. All right. Like I said, we will be joined by Mick Akers of the Las Vegas Review-Journal on the other side, talking some A's, what happened yesterday, and what does that mean for the A's in Sacramento. Then we're getting back into your calls, your texts, your Sac Chat about your Sacramento Kings. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st Annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the Capitol for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st Annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th with Western Health Advantage, Gurnick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at SactownSports.com.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. The winter months bring joy, but also with more rain and snow, unfortunately, more accidents. Over the last quarter century, thousands of Northern California residents have looked to Ashton & Price to be their root op with a law license to guide them through the storm of an injury claim. As always, we wish you and your family the safest and happiest of holidays. But if you need us, at Ashton & Price, we're here for you. So whether you've been naughty or nice, happiest holidays from Ashton & Price.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Holidays at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Holidays at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is expanding. I guess you could say the Super Shop is getting more superer. That means more for you, more apparel, more equipment, more shoes, more gift ideas, more of everything you want. If you're looking for the right gift for the golfer in your life, let the friendly team of Hagen Oaks experts help you find the perfect gift. From golf bags to golf balls, from golf pants to golf shirts, from rain gear to golf gloves, Hagen Oaks has it all. And much is on sale. Visit the Hagen Oaks Golf Superer Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80, or find us at hagenoaks.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy, and they, as always, want to help you stay warm this fall and to make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection, regularly $119, and that includes a full safety inspection, a full duct inspection, and if your system is over 10 years old, the tune-up is on American Energy. So give them a call right now, offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com. That's the AE, like American Energy, way.com for an instant quote. In business for a long, long time. A-plus Better Business Bureau serving the greater Sacramento area. Get in there today at theaeway.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hey, it's time to open up your calendar app for some incredible live events coming your way. This is the Sacktown Sports Live Events Calendar, bringing you the hottest shows in town. Kick off 2025 with country superstars Dylan Scott and Jackson Dean. They're hitting the stage at Thunder Valley on January 10th for a night of hot country hits. Then on January 11th, laugh until your sides hurt with comedy legend Bill Engvall. He's performing live at Thunder Valley, a show you won't want to miss. And the one and only Justin Timberlake is bringing electrifying energy to the Golden One Center on January 15th. This is your chance to see an icon in action. For a more intimate vibe, catch Bryce Vine at Ace of Spades on January 25th. It'll be an unforgettable night of alternative hip-hop. And finally, looking ahead to February 20th, Old 60 lights up Ace of Spades with their unique blend of rock and soul. Get your tickets now because these shows will sell out fast. For details and updates, visit sacktownsports.com. And stay tuned. This is your ticket to the best live entertainment in the 916, the Sacktown Sports live events calendar.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Get huge year-end savings on the all-new 2025 Silverado now at Maida Chevy.
With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on select new 2025 half-ton Silverado LT and RST.
And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area.
$8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Now available with special financing needs in some of the offers.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting sacktownsports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports. 1 hour down, 3 more to go with you. Hope everybody's enjoying your Friday. And we hope Mick Akers is enjoying his Friday. Mick of the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Mick Akers, thank you so much for joining us, man. Happy Friday.
Hey, you as well. Thanks, man.
Let's get right to it, Mick. You broke the news earlier this week that the build in Las Vegas for the Athletics ballpark going to cost about $250 million more than originally planned, and John Fisher is going to fit the bill. What led to this? Were the initial projections just off? Did something else happen throughout were they off from the get-go, or did something change? How did all this kind of come to be?
Yeah, so over the last several months, they've been in the planning and designing phase. So as they went through that, they ended up adding 70,000 square feet of additional amenities. They kind of changed up the seating a little bit to make it a little bit closer to home plate and then less outfield area. So they're going to have some of the closest seats in Major League Baseball. Added some player amenities, so they're going to have some, high-end areas for the players for both the home and away teams. And then also construction costs has kind of have risen since then as well. Kind of the same process that happened with the Raiders Stadium when they first came out as $1.8 billion. And by the time they were done, it ended up being $2 billion. And that was also because they added some spaces like the Wynn Field Club that's in the end zone there as such. So it's kind of a common thing. Once they first announce the price, obviously they have to get into the weeds. And once they actually go in and know what they have to actually get, usually the costs go up on that.
Talking to Mick Akers of the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Mick, there's been a lot of talk in Sacramento about, I guess I'll say, ulterior motives and what if Vegas falls through, and that's why they decided to bring the Athletics to Sacramento. With the documents that got approved earlier this week to move forward, does this make the move to Vegas pretty close to 100% certain, or what does that do for the process?
Yeah, so this is the vital step that had to be done with the Las Vegas Stadium Authority in order to get everything ready to go for construction and then also make available the public money. They still have a few things to do with the Clark County here as far as doing the entitlement process for the 9 acres of land on the Strip, and then also make their own development agreement with Clark County. Then they can, get the project going. But they can start the project basically at any time after an entitlement process. They can start funding it on their own. So they have to put their money into a surety, basically, to say, hey, we have the needed funding. They're going to do $1.1 billion in equity from the Fisher family, and then $300 million from a construction loan from U.S. Bank and Goldman Sachs. So once they have that firmly in there, that's when it's going to open up the public money. But as far as these 3 agreements that got approved yesterday, those were pretty much the last major hurdles in the process here in Vegas.
Talking to Mick Akers, Las Vegas Review-Journal. Mick, just from a fan perspective, I've been out in Vegas, and I'll tell you what, when people ask me how my time was, or whenever I visit Vegas, the first thing I say, whether I'm in an Uber, whether I'm talking to any of the Vegas locals, the number one team that they ride for is those Vegas Golden Knights. That is your baby out there, the Vegas Golden Knights. As we now see the Athletics are headed out there, as well as the Raiders, what has the excitement been like? And I also want to take some time and get your thoughts on the Raiders in particular, because there have been some kind of bad clips that we've seen from the Raiders stadium, just as far as other fans taking over. Have the Raiders become more Las Vegas, and what's the excitement level for the A's?
Yeah, but the Raiders, obviously, they came in right after the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights was what they call Vegas-born, right? They were an expansion team. They started here, so obviously, and they came in right after the October 1 shooting and kind of rallied the city. So, it kind of drew them an instant fan base, even though, hockey was pretty much an unknown out here, even though we had, some minor league stuff for years before that. Mm-hmm. So that's what kind of drew, the main popularity towards the Golden Knights. But then you had the Raiders come in, and at first, they ended up selling out all the season tickets before the stadium was built. A lot of those were locally bought. A lot of them are also from California, obviously Oakland and Southern California, where their former residences there as well. So that Raiders fandom has been growing. Obviously, you're seeing a lot of people traveling here for a game, just become the destination city for people to go to their away game. Kind of built by design, because of the $2 billion, $750 million of public funding went towards that, and that's paid for by a room tax here in Las Vegas. So anytime someone stays at a hotel room on the Strip, 0.88% goes towards that, a tax on that. So obviously it's paying for itself, basically. Obviously the Raiders are saying, hey, we want to see some more silver and black in the stands, but they understand, that's kind of, the makeup of how that stadium got built. And a lot of the fans locally are taking advantage of the popularity and selling their tickets on the secondary market and basically making their money back and then some on their season tickets and PSLs. So that's, kind of the main driver behind a lot of the opposing fans out here. Similarly to the Raiders, they got here and then they've been building up their fan base, and, you're starting to see a lot more silver and black, a lot of Raiders license plates, people wearing Raiders all over the place now. So it is booming out here as far as their popularity. Similar with the A's, the first talks about it, people are kind of getting excited. Then it kind of drug on for a minute and kind of, muddled the situation. But now that it's getting real, you're starting to see more A's stuff pop up around the city and people are talking about it. So I think the excitement level is kind of building now that it's more real, than it was a couple of years ago.
And that's interesting because it's a very unique situation with the A's in Sacramento. The A's signed Luis Severino yesterday, and that was huge news, the biggest contract in franchise history. So do you see a world, and obviously the Raider part of it, the Raiders got to play better. Everybody knows when you play better, more people care. We're dealing with that right now with the Kings. As far as the A's are concerned, Severino gets signed. Do you see a world where, as this thing gets closer, people in Vegas are paying attention to the A's, knowing that they're on the way? Like, are there Vegas fans, maybe when we get further down the line, but, oh, wow, the A's, even though Severino signed a 3-year deal, funny enough, and unless he signs a deal after that, won't be in Vegas, do you see Las Vegas residents paying attention to what the A's are doing while they're in Sacramento?
Yeah, I think that will build up over the next 3 years. Obviously, as it gets closer, and maybe when they start seeing the stadium actually go up from the ground, I think the excitement will kind of drum up a little bit more. Back when the Raiders were in their relocation process and still out in Oakland, we had reporters go out there and cover every game. I'm not sure if we're going to do that in Sacramento yet, but obviously we'll be paying attention and reporting it out here so the fans can get it out here as well. But, as this process goes on, as I mentioned, I think the fan base is going to kind of grow out here and people are going to start paying attention. And maybe if they have some other team affiliations, if they moved here from like LA, like the Dodgers or something like that, maybe they'll make this their second team. That's what I've seen a lot with the Raiders, a lot of transplants out here. So people have their own NFL teams that they like, but they're kind of adopting the Raiders as their second team. Obviously they can go and watch the games live. So it kind of adds to it. So I think over time, people might switch their affiliations, but it'll take some time. But obviously, winning is going to help. With the Raiders right now, you have them not doing so great on the field. A bunch of stuff going on the back end and all that kind of thing. I think once the newness of the, Allegiant Stadium out here, it's 5 years old now, right? So once that kind of wears off, they're going to have to, have a winning team to keep that stadium being filled. So we're going to see how that goes. And it'll be like that for the A's. The A's have long been said, hey, the A's don't spend money on players, right? So I think they're trying to show the next steps of their team as they're approaching Las Vegas. John Fisher told me several times that they're ready to spend money on a team. They just need to get out here and have a new ballpark ready. So I think yesterday's signing was just the first in many to come over the next few years.
Mick Akers, Las Vegas Review-Journal. Well, Mick, with that being said, one last question for you, and I'm a guy I'm in Sacramento now. I grew up in the Bay Area. I've been to plenty of games at the Coliseum. With all of the politics and the drama that's gone on, is there a world where you ultimately see this move being successful and the athletics being successful out there in Vegas?
Yeah, same as the Raiders. They moved here and they're dead last in the NFL rankings as far as valuation. And once they moved out here over the years, now they're in the top 10, obviously. So you've seen a big boom in their financials there. So it depends how you want to measure success, right? Because obviously out here, they've only made the playoffs once. They've went through several coaches, quarterbacks, and all that kind of thing. So on the field thing, we'll see how that goes. But as far as the business side of things, the A's are kind of looking at that similarly. Hey, we're going to come out here and do some of these partnership deals with, some of these companies up and down the strip, obviously naming rights and all that kind of thing. Raiders did about over a dozen of those, obviously very lucrative deals there long-term and all that. So that, they have guaranteed money coming in and they'll have to kind of go through and renegotiate those here coming up in a few years. So there'll be some more money on the line there. So I think the A's are just looking at the Raiders situation and kind of, following it as they did it. Pretty much the whole situation leading up to the stadium, it's pretty similar. The same thing with the Stadium Authority. They hired a lot of the same contractors who are going to build it and design it and all that kind of thing. So I think the Raiders set the blueprint, and now the A's are kind of following that along.
Mick Akers, thank you so much. Las Vegas Review-Journal. Go check out his work. Mick, enjoy your weekend. Thank you for taking the time, and we will definitely be talking soon.
All right, thanks for having me.
Thanks again. Once again, that was Mick Akers of the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Great stuff there, and maybe not great if you were part of that, the tinfoil hat as far as are the A's going to end up in Sacramento. Look, anything is possible, but, I think Mick gave us some really good context as to what happened earlier this week, what is going to happen moving forward, and just the vibe of the plan. And it just seems very businessy, if you will. The Vegas and the Raiders seems very businessy, but I guess that's what it is. Vegas is big business out there. It's big business. Great stuff from Mick Akers. All right, on the other side, we hear from Mike Brown. We love to play the post-game pressers, much to some of you all's chagrin, but we need to know what the head coach is saying after games like this. So we hear from Mike Brown. More of your calls, more of your texts, more of your Sack Chat. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Spurs. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Here comes Floyd, throw over the middle. Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Be there December 12th for Thursday Night Football at Levi Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers take on the Los Angeles Rams.
20, one block and he's in.
This battle of NFC West rivals is presented by Rakuten.
Touchdown!
Tickets are available now. Secure your seats today at 49ers.com/tickets.
San Francisco!
This holiday season, create a fun and joyful memory for you and your loved ones. Come light the world and help those in need through the Giving Machine, November 16th through January 1st at the Westfield Galleria Mall in Roseville and in Modesto at Valley Fair Mall. Choose from local charities serving your community or from global charities worldwide. Come feel the Christmas spirit at the Giving Machine. Learn more at givingmachine.greatersacramentomodesto.org.
Great
Live
stuff.
and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Great stuff from Mick Akers of the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Look, until that shovel is in the dirt, we don't know. But I know there's been a lot of, and I don't even know if I'm supposed to be saying this stuff on the air, but I know there's been a lot of conversation about, nah, man, there's a secret plan to keep the A's in Sacramento. And the reality is, we are all talking about the move yesterday with that big signing for the A's, but nobody was really talking about the reports and what got signed and the documents.
The stadium authority was meeting to approve these documents and move forward, which I bet you was not a coincidence, right?
But why would it's not a secret that they're going to it's not a secret that they're going to Vegas.
It was the good publicity of, so they needed the approval of the authority, right?
So yeah, what you're saying is, hey, you're showing the authority, we're going to spend, look what we just did.
We are committed to spending when we get to Vegas. Look, we just signed the richest contract in our team's history by $1 million. And by the way, it's not even that, because Severino can opt out of the third year of his contract. So it's like, look, we just committed this big money contract, and therefore we're now committed to spending. Imagine how much we'll spend once we get a stadium. We're going to this minor league baseball stadium and we're spending money. Imagine what we're going to spend when we get to Las Vegas, when the whole thing is disingenuous, because the Oakland A's have never spent money on anybody. Luis Severino was once upon a time an all-star.
Hey, right place, right time.
But he's now what? The number 2 starter on the Mets, which the reason the Mets weren't in the World Series last year was because they didn't have enough starting pitching. Wasn't there a report also they were thinking of re-signing Sean Manaea to a long contract?
Yeah, and Sean Manaea, he got it. He kind of did his thing in the playoffs. So good on him, former Athletic. Yeah, Luis Severino signing that ridiculous deal yesterday for the Athletics. And hey, sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time. Not to say that Luis Severino
going to have
can't
a
pitch,
nice house in Elk Grove.
Yeah. Well, no, he what is it? There are a couple different places. What's the one? The Hills.
Is that where De'Aaron is? It's over by Arden.
Whenever there's a hill somewhere, you that's when you know.
Yeah,
that's when
I don't know exactly. I know that the interesting thing about Sacramento, though, is of the players I know that live here, they're kind of all spread around. It's kind of interesting how that works out. There's not like a place like in Phoenix. There's basically a community where if you go down the block, it's like all former athletes, basically.
Right.
Sacramento, they're kind of like spread out all over the place, from what I understand.
Land Park is. I have this up apartment. Well, this is for apartment. Land Park is the most expensive place to rent, according to apartmentguide.com.
Hamadrock's saying El Dorado Hills. Maybe
that's what it was, El Dorado Hills.
That's a longer drive, though, for Severino.
He ain't driving, or he shouldn't be driving. I wouldn't be driving with that type of money. So shout out to the Athletics for, doing what they said they're going to do. They're spending money. All right, let's get back into some Kings. And the only thing we've had to talk about that's been positive is the found money in Isaac Jones. Let's hear from Coach Mike Brown. And as we always do after a game, his intro presser, for his post-game presser and what he had to say. Here it is.
Yeah, you give Taylor Jenkins and his team, especially the bench that was in the game after Ja got kicked out, you give them a lot of credit. They did a fantastic job bringing the fight to us. And, at the end of the day, you shoot 22% from the three. I thought we had wide open shots. We went away from the paint touches and spray in the fourth quarter. We got a little 2-point pull-up happy in that fourth quarter. But I thought we had great shots before that. The guys were moving the basketball, and we didn't quite do that, especially down the stretch. But that's not where the game was lost. The game was lost. We let them get out in transition. They had 17 fast break points, and three things we talked about against this team. We talked about protecting the paint. We talked about boxing out, and then we talked about getting back in transition. And they had 17 fast break points in the second half. But the tail of the tape, guys, is down the stretch. Our guys fought. They did a great job fighting, giving us a chance to win the game. But down the stretch, we had 3 missed box outs. 3. That's like a small detail that you should embrace, especially at the end of the game, and try to do your job at the highest level. We had a missed box out on a free throw attempt. They missed a free throw. We missed the box out. They get the rebound, and they score it. But we gave up 3, and I think the 3 missed box outs down the stretch were maybe for 5 points. And then in transition, we have 3 guys back. 3 guys back, and this is when it comes to winning time. And we allow Huff to get behind us for a dunk. We can't have those. I mean, again, our guys played extremely hard, and they gave us a chance to win. But you can't have 3 missed box outs and an open transition dunk when you have 3 guys back down the stretch, especially with us, not moving the ball the way that we moved it throughout most of the game.
They just don't do a lot of things well right now. They're just not doing a lot of things well right now. They can't shoot. They can never shoot, not this season. They can't defend. They can't box out. They can't do anything. So Mike Brown at this point, he tried the pump up, one of the last losses, right, where he's kind of banging on the table and going that route. Now he's just giving X's and O's, right? It's just you can't miss shots and not do the little things and expect to win ball games. Can't do it. And you can kind of split this thing up however you want. You can, fruit ninja it however you want. They're just not playing well. And I don't know, for every one person that calls in and says it's on Mike Brown, there's another person that says Mike Brown's not shooting. So I really don't know what to do with it. I really don't know. All I know is this team is headed nowhere fast right now. Nowhere. This team is me Thanksgiving Eve stuck on the Amtrak with the I Street Bridge sideways, nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go.
Because they would have to go on quite the run to be able to pull this out. We talked about, what day was that, earlier this week, where if they, over the next 8 games, we're talking about the Rockets, the Grizzlies, the Spurs, the Jazz, now we know the Pelicans, the Nuggets, and then you throw in the 2 Laker games. To get back to 500, they would have to go 6-2 during that stretch. Well, now they're 1-1, which means they'd have to go 5-1 over the next 6 games, and they haven't had a 5-1 stretch since, going back to probably January of last year.
Jason said they haven't won 2 games in a row in a month.
Yeah.
In a month. Now, there is, for all the optimists out there, there is some optimism that we will get to. We never go full pessimistic. We never go full optimistic. So we do have some ways we can be optimistic here, and I will get into those. We do want to talk about the bench, and Mike Brown doesn't specifically mention Keon Ellis, but he does get asked for everybody, hashtag hard media, he does get asked about the roster. So I do think a lot of you that have been wondering, hey, do they get asked, tougher questions, and what do they do? He did get asked that by Chris Biederman. Chris Biederman, great job by him. We will play that sound for you on the other side. And more of your text. Wes, we see you. We will get to you as well. Don't move a muscle. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Spurs. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the San Francisco 49ers.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday. Getting out the door to a cool start with some areas of patchy fog. As we head through the afternoon, expect to see mainly sunny skies and light winds. Highs today will peak in the mid to upper 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
This report is brought to you by the San Francisco 49ers. Be there December 12th for Thursday Night Football at Levi Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers take on the Los Angeles Rams. This battle of NFC West rivals is presented by Rakuten. Tickets are available at 49ers.com/tickets.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Cyber Week sale, save 20% on most Sleep Number smart beds, plus free home delivery with any base. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Looks like you made the ice list this year.
Santa, don't you mean the nice list?
No, ice, because Prestigio Jewelers carries all the ice you need.
For over 30 years, Prestigio Jewelers has offered in-house financing and fine jewelry. Guaranteed credit approval between $400 and $10,000 with no money down options. Make this Christmas season unforgettable. The perfect jewelry, the perfect price, helping you build perfect credit. With locations in Sacramento, Stockton, Merced, and Fresno, or online at prestigiojewelers.com.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, and guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Sacramento Kings fans, join us for a watch party and live game night broadcast with Scott Marsh and Henry Turner at Tom's Watch Bar this Friday from 3 to 5 against San Antonio, complete with 360-degree viewing, surround sound, prizes, and more. Tom's Watch Bar.
You know, when it's all on the line, you need a big-time closer, and that's especially true when it comes to your garage door. And that's why I recommend National Garage Door, 638-4554. Whitey Gleason here for National Garage Door. Whether you're looking to repair an existing door or get a brand new one installed, you need National Garage Door. Family-owned and operated. They've been around since 1974 because service is their #1 priority. National Garage Door are the region's BSE, it's broken spring experts. Styles, prices, and quality of the new doors will amaze you. Our garage door was starting to sound kind of, and that's not good. So Kevin from National Garage Door came out. He said patching up the old one was an option, but we're getting a new garage door. We're pretty happy about that. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer branded garage doors. They offer sales, service, and installation on all residential and commercial doors and operators. If you have garage door needs, old ones coming apart, or you're looking to improve your curb appeal, let National Garage Door come through for you in the clutch and be your closer. 638-4554, National Garage Door.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is expanding. I guess you could say the Super Shop is getting more silverer. That means more for you, more apparel, more equipment, more shoes, more gift ideas, more of everything you want. If you're looking for the right gift for the golfer in your life, let the friendly team of Hagen Oaks experts help you find the perfect gift. From golf bags to golf balls, from golf pants to golf shirts, from rain gear to golf gloves, Hagen Oaks has it all. And much is on sale. Visit the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80, or find us at hagenoaks.com.
The holidays are always a great time to get together with family and friends, but nothing beats the thrill of Stockton Honda's deals. During Happy Honda Days, find the perfect ride in person or online. With over 400 new Hondas ready to go, now is the time to buy at Northern California's #1 Honda deal, Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company sold on report.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We're about to hear from Mike Brown. We just heard from him, but he was asked about the roster, and we have that information. This is where we're at with the Sacramento Kings, people. This is where we are at. After that loss, NBA Central decided to fire up what the odds are currently for De'Aaron Fox in a potential trade. Now, that doesn't mean the trade is going to happen. They just have the favorites according to Bovada. That has nothing to do with whether a trade will happen.
He's just the next superstar on the list who might not sign a supermax.
Yes, from a smaller market that, hey, why not? We got a couple hours till game time. Let's let the content continue to content. So here is a list, and then, Wes, we're going to get to you right here, and then we have that sound from Mike Brown. New Orleans Pelicans, plus 1,400. Minnesota Timberwolves, plus 1,200. San Antonio Spurs, plus 1,000. Los Angeles Clippers, plus 700. Denver Nuggets, plus 700. Houston Rockets, plus 600. Miami Heat in second place with plus 450. And the current favorite to land De'Aaron Fox, if a trade happened, and that's a huge if, unless they keep losing, the Orlando Magic at plus 400. They've been looking for scoring. Look, we're not doing it because we're going to get to West, but Jalen Suggs was on the top 25 under 25.
I'm not doing it.
We're not doing it.
I refuse.
We're not doing Jalen Suggs and Jonathan Isaac, and we're not doing it.
Here's what I'll say. The first time that I will seriously consider putting De'Aaron Fox's name in the trade machine is opening day of training camp 2025. If he doesn't have a contract by then, then we can start firing up the trade machine, because then he'll have 1 year left on the deal. They've obviously spent a summer negotiating. If we get to 9 months from now, 10 months from now, and there's still no contract extension, then we can start to fire up the trade machine.
Not doing it. We're not doing it. You know what we are doing? A call from Wes right now, 916-339-1140. What's up, Wes? Happy Friday. What you got for us?
What's up? How you guys doing? Thanks for having me on.
Of course. What you got?
Yeah, I was thinking about it a lot when that rotation starts to get stagnant and nothing seems to happen. I love Mike Brown. I think he kind of gets in his head, and I feel like we're missing Jordy. And I don't really know much about the relationship with Luke and with Jay, but is anybody saying no to Mike? I feel like Jordy was a guy who could say, not right now, Mike. That's not, Jordy could really shake him up and kind of take over when Mike was getting in his head. And I just think a lot of the problems could be that. So I'll hear what you guys say off the phone.
No, thanks for the call, Wes. Great stuff. I will say this. I'm not saying the statement. I'm saying if that were the issue, then I would say, well, then your head coach needs to be better. If I did think that was a situation, if things are, and again, they were a 9 seed last season, so let's not act like they were a 2 seed last season, and Jordy leaves, and now all of a sudden you're 3 games under 500. They didn't light the world on fire last season either, so that's why I'm not sure that I'm willing to go there. I think they miss Jordy the same way anybody misses an assistant coach that they lose. Look at the thing is, it's who you bring in. the Warriors lose Kenny Atkinson. They bring in Jerry Stackhouse, and Jerry Stackhouse has been doing the defense for them, and they've been on fire. So maybe it was about not bringing in somebody new to refresh what's been going on. Luke Louse has been there. Jay Triano has been there as well. So that's possible. Maybe it was just, hey, those guys are cool, but you have to add something else, and they didn't do that.
Yeah, look at it across the league with some of the bigger name assistant coaches recently that have gotten jobs. Charles Lee goes from Boston to Charlotte. Sam Cassell kind of steps into that role, and things kind of work relatively seamlessly for Boston. Now, part of that is the talent of the players, but Boston's still a 2 seed in the East. You haven't noticed that difference yet. In Phoenix, Kevin Young leaves. They bring in an entire new coaching staff. Okay, Budenholzer's going to hire his own guys at that point. Atkinson with the Warriors, and before that, Mike Brown with the Warriors, because Mike Brown goes to Sacramento. He brings Leandro Barbosa with him.
I mean, the Celtics lost Ime Udoka. Straight up.
Well, yeah, and the Celtics, that one is an interesting case because I still think we need to wait to see if Joe Mazzulla is actually a good coach or not.
Yeah.
It's hard to kind of divvy that up in just 2 seasons, basically. What's interesting, though, about the Jordi Fernandez situation is that, it was a little bit of not a surprise that Jordi ended up getting it, but Sacramento didn't have the depth of successful run or length of successful runs that you would expect a Charles Lee or Kevin Young to then lead to a job.
Or Mike Brown when he got this job.
Yeah, exactly. Those guys played for either teams that won a championship or coached for teams that either won a championship or went to the NBA Finals in the case of the Phoenix Suns. But also Jordi Fernandez, as the third coach on the bench in Denver, was part of the teams that ultimately he wasn't there when they won the championship, but laid the foundation for champion teams, right? So it's interesting that Jordi left and the Kings feel like they're in a worse place because I feel like they do miss him, even though he was obviously doing a lot of the, associate head coach duties. And it wasn't necessarily like he was doing this game plan or that or anything like that.
Let's get to this Mike Brown sound. Now, Jordi obviously was on the defensive end, but Mike Brown is asked about the bench and the lackluster scoring. And Chris Biederman, look, y'all want to come at Sacramento media. They don't ask the hard questions, whatever the case may be. I really appreciate Chris Biederman. And you got to imagine on the road, there ain't a lot of people in there. So you're basic is dang near a one-on-one with Mike Brown, and Chris Biederman asked this question about the roster, and this is what Mike Brown had to say.
Mike, you guys, the starters throughout most of the game in terms of plus minus, we're doing pretty well, and then the bench scoring obviously a 60 to 15 disparity there. I mean, what can you do with what this roster or how this roster is currently constructed to try to get more out of what you have? And do you think you guys need to be active to try to add more depth?
I'm concentrating on the guys that I have. That question is for Monty and Wes. It's not me. I love our team. I thought we had great looks. Guys got to make shots. If you're open and you're going to shoot it, make it. Simple. And maybe I got to keep searching along the bench to see if we can get a punch here or there. But when you move Malik to the starting group, you're taking a big punch away from the bench, and the punch is there not just because he can score, but to make the game easier for his teammates. And so got to keep shooting if we're open, but hopefully going forward we can make them.
Woo! First of all, shout out Chris Biederman, Sacramento B. Second of all, that is a situation, if you want to come on this ride with me, hashtag De'Aaron Fox, where you need to read between the lines. And I'm not going to put any words in Mike Brown's mouth, but I heard a couple things there. At the end of the day, he's saying the right things, right? He caveats it by starting off saying the right things. He's saying, hey, I love the team, and I can just worry about the guys that are on the roster. Then he goes on to say, we're getting my system for everybody out there, whether it's fans, media, whoever, the executive staff, the ownership, we are getting open shots, right? If there is, when people get on Kyle Shanahan, and I know TC's ears probably just perked up, but when people get on Kyle Shanahan, and there's an issue with separation. And Kyle Shanahan is an offensive genius, okay? Or that's what people call him, but they can't get separation. And you can't scheme guys open. That is legit. When we're talking about a team where we can go through the clips right now, or you can do it because we're up against it. We're going to get into this on the other side. But you can look at all the open shots that are being generated for the Kings, and they're just not making them. So Mike Brown starts off saying that. Then he goes on to say that he needs to look on the bench. I think that was a nod to Keon, but he wasn't going to wear it right there. But he says, I got to keep looking on the bench for a punch, and continues by saying they got to make shots, and ultimately we're putting them in the right position, right? So to me, he was saying multiple things, but he said it in a way that we all know what he's actually saying. We all know.
I'll add this when we come back from the break also. They might be getting open shots, but they are definitely not getting enough of those open shots.
Okay, and that's fair. That's a fair conversation. Maybe they could be getting, and I'm sure there's a nerd stat out there that Kyle might be generating right now, but the ones that they are getting, they're not hitting either.
I don't know. It's like a drinking game with Mike Brown when he says we're getting open shots.
Yeah, well, also
post-game press conference.
Well, that, and also give their guys credit. Give their guys a ton of credit.
Sure, but that's fine. That's coach speak. A lot of coaches say that.
All right, let's continue that conversation. We might even play it again because there was a second half of that I wanted to break down as we go tinfoil here and what is being said when it's not actually being said. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Tonight, Kings and Spurs. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. And now that the holidays are here, there is no better time than right now to head down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. The Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration is back from now through January 2nd. You may say, Kyle, what is the Holiday Love Celebration? Well, let me tell you. At Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, you can discover exceptional offers on a new Mercedes-Benz, like the 2025 GLC 300 SUV. It's just $559 a month for 36 months. They also have a full lineup of SUVs, vans, electric vehicles, and of course, certified pre-owned vehicles with rates as low as 2.99% APR up to 72 months on select vehicles. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton believes in the true Mercedes car buying experience. So make the short drive down I-5 to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton and see what a true car buying experience is really about. Or of course, you can go online at mbfstockton.com.
Ba, 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 ba. Yep, 'tis the season. Hey, if you take pride in your gift giving, here's a great idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so Arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift from the Good Feet store. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville, and in Reno on South Virginia Street.
Hello, I'm Frank Ockrell with Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. The thought of investing could be a scary prospect for some and exciting for others. What makes investing scary for some is the fear of volatility. Some investors measure this with the CBOE Volatility Index, or VIX, sometimes called the Fear Index. This index measures expected volatility over the next 30 days. The VIX index dropped to a reading of 14 below the measure of 20 in August of this year, which coincided with a steep stock market pullback. The past 26 times the index rose to 20, then fell to 14 or lower. The S&P 500 is measured higher a year later, averaging 14.2%, with the lone exception being 2015, which saw the stock market lower. This may be causing fear of missing out as investors have been pouring assets into the stock market in the final hour of trading, 9 of the past 10 sessions. This activity has seen the stock market measure higher in the next 12 months, 90% of the time, when the last hour of trading increase coincides with levels close to index highs. Fear of loss or fear of missing out, which will win out for investors. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment to watch videos and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Osea Cafe Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Osea Cafe is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osea Cafe.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system? and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Holidays at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Here comes Floyd, throw over the middle, intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Be there December 12th for Thursday Night Football at Levi Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers take on the Los Angeles Rams.
20, one block and he's in.
This battle of NFC West rivals is presented by Rakuten.
Touchdown!
Tickets are available now. Secure your seats today at 49ers.com/tickets.
San Francisco!
Meta Chevy sends you $8,000 off MSRP on new 2025 half-ton Silverado LT and RST after rebates.
Year-end savings on now with $8,000 off new Silverados at MetaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. 1 o'clock, you have a chance to win Thomas Rhett tickets. Kyle, I want to get back to that sound again that we played from Mike Brown. And if you can skip, can you skip through just halfway through? Can you do that for me? Not the beginning, but just the second half. Mike Brown was asked about the roster and what he can do with the roster. And we addressed the first part of what he said, just about guys making shots. And we were kind of going a little tinfoil hat here on who he's actually talking to. But I did want to replay the second part of that as well. You got it? All right.
Try to add more depth.
I'm concentrating on the guys that I have. That question is for Monty and Wes. It's not me. I love our team. I thought we had great looks. Guys got to make shots. If you're open and you're going to shoot it, make it. Simple. Maybe I got to keep searching along the bench to see if we can get a punch here or there. But when you move Malik to the starting group, you're taking a big punch away from the bench, and the punch is there not just because he can score, but to make the game easier for his teammates. And so got to keep shooting if we're open, but hopefully going forward we can make them.
So that second part, this is full tinfoil hat, okay, Freaky Friday, if you will. But I have spoken with some other people that cover the team. This is all our opinions, okay? This is all our opinions. This is all just opinion, not source information. But when Mike Brown says what he says, and we said the first thing he addressed was guys got to make shots, a.k.a. these guys kind of stink right now, and I can't get them open shots. We can argue, could they get more open shots? We'll actually have that conversation in the 12 o'clock hour about pick and roll versus dribble handoff. Jillian Adge had a great breakdown on Twitter that we will get to. But he talks about you got to hit open shots. That's number one. Okay. We feel like we're doing enough to get you open shots. The second thing he mentions, and again, I talked about this with other people that cover the team, and there is a feeling, not source information, just opinion, but there is a feeling that when Mike Brown mentions moving Malik to the starting lineup, this is something he never wanted to do. This is something that in the 3 years he refused to do. In all the games where Kevin Huerter missed last season, Malik Monk never started. The games that De'Aaron Fox missed last season, Malik Monk never started. The feeling is that maybe, just maybe, this was not Mike Brown's decision. They got to a point where they have lost 6 of 7, whatever it is. They were 1-7, okay? And maybe there were conversations that were had, and it circled the block and turned into, yeah, you're going to start Malik Monk, and we're going to figure the rest out. Now, what I am kind of getting into could get really squirrely, because to start Malik Monk and then all of a sudden Keon Ellis not get minutes makes no sense. And I'm not saying that this is some type of mutiny from Mike Brown. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is that you don't just decide something and still speak on it the way you spoke on it before. So he makes a point. Okay, the question was about bench scoring, don't get me wrong, but it was also about the roster. And he made a point to bring up, when you take Malik from the bench, this is exactly, basically, Kyle, it sounded like, this is what I've been trying to tell y'all. If we take Malik off the bench, what are we going to do?
When you move Malik to the starting group, you know, you're taking a big punch away from the bench, and the punch is there not just because he can score, but to make the game easier for his teammates.
So then after that, you then don't play Keon Ellis. Then you play him 2 minutes. I don't know if those things are connected. No clue. All I know is that this man would have rather start. I mean, we saw Dougie Big Buckets get a start. We saw Chris Duarte. We saw guys that are 2-3 teams down the line now get starts.
KZ
Okpala. Guys that are not even in the league anymore. And Malik Monk was not starting. And all of a sudden he starts, and he's starting as much as Mike Brown changes things game to game. Now Malik Monk is starting for the foreseeable future. That kind of sounds like that wasn't Mike Brown's decision.
So on Sunday, I was down in San Diego on vacation. I don't have the league pass, so I'm kind of just following along and then going back to the highlights later. But I saw the note that was like, Malik Monk will be starting for the Kings. I was like, why now? Why on a random Sunday against a random Spurs team? Like, why now are they making the call to put Malik Monk in the starting lineup? And it was the game after he put up like 20-something points off the bench, and the offense just gave him nothing, and they lost to the Blazers. And I was just like, there had to be some sort of meeting of the minds when they got back to Sacramento. It wasn't just a unilateral Mike Brown is making this choice, because like you said, it was so under the radar. It was unexpected. It was just a random decision on a random Saturday. It was after everyone had already come back from injury. They started Lyles, and like you said, all the randos over the years that, yeah, I think there's probably a meeting of the minds somewhere in there to come to this decision. Now, that doesn't have to mean mutiny or any, like, we don't have to go all the way to the end of that. The nuance of the situation probably lies somewhere in the middle, but I kind of thought the same thing, especially when our old boy Dave tweeted out during the Blazers game, like, if I were the owner right now, you know what I would do? I would walk into Mike Brown's office and say, you're starting Malik Monk.
I don't care. You're starting Malik Monk. And did something like that happen? Some version
it's hard
of
not
that.
I mean, did Dave cause Malik Monk to go into the starting
We gonna
lineup?
give Dave that much power? I refuse.
He's gotten some things done before, I'll tell you that.
I refuse. All right, let's open back up the phone lines, 916-339-1140. We have an article here from ESPN about a lot of the moves that happened in the offseason and how they're working out. And you are not going to want to miss what these guys around the NBA have to say about one DeMar DeRozan. Should he be safe from any potential move? Should the Kings think, hey, let's just get out while we can and just admit that it wasn't working. We have some really, really deep analysis on DeMar DeRozan coming up next and what that means for the Sacramento Kings. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Spurs. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
So what if I need a new one? We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex, breathe, use as directed.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think Happy Honda Days. Let's explain. Happy is a good thing. We all like happy. Honda stands for quality, reliability, comfort, design, peace of mind, value at resale, and a lot more feel-good words. Days is how long you have left to take advantage of Elk Grove Honda's year-end clearance underway right now. Elk Grove Honda is located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard, or visit us at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is expanding. I guess you could say the Super Shop is getting more superer. That means more for you, more apparel, more equipment, more shoes, more gift ideas, more of everything you want. If you're looking for the right gift for the golfer in your life, let the friendly team of Hagen Oaks experts help you find the perfect gift. From golf bags to golf balls, from golf pants to golf shirts, from rain gear to golf gloves, Hagen Oaks has it all. And much is on sale. Visit the Hagen Oaks Golf Superer Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80, or find us at HagenOaks.com.
Ho, 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 ho. Looks like you made the ice list this year.
Santa, don't you mean the nice list?
No, ice, because Prestigio Jewelers carries all the ice you need.
For over 30 years, Prestigio Jewelers has offered in-house financing and fine jewelry. Guaranteed credit approval between $400 and $10,000 with no money down options. Make this Christmas season unforgettable. The perfect jewelry, the perfect price, helping you build perfect credit. With locations in Sacramento, Stockton, Merced, and Fresno, or online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Here comes Floyd, throw over the middle, intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Be there December 12th for Thursday Night Football at Levi Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers take on the Los Angeles Rams.
20, one block and he's in.
This battle of NFC West rivals is presented by Rakuten.
Touchdown!
Tickets are available now. Secure your seats today at 49ers.com/tickets.
San Francisco!
It's not your average holiday season. Hold on to your hard hats because starting Monday, December 13th, Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet is unwrapping the biggest power tool sale Sacramento has ever seen. We're turning up the heat with 12 days of unbeatable prices on all your favorite Makita products and much more. Free batteries with tools, free tools with batteries, and bare tools starting at just $99. Come on down and give us a visit at 6701 Power Inn Road in Sacramento or shop our Christmas deals online at fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet. Better tools, better prices.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time from
our business technology Toshiba studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
2 hours down, 2 to go. Taking you up to 2 p.m. Then going to hand you over to the drive guys. So De'Aaron Fox, his shoes are out. The Fox Curry ones, or Curry Fox ones. And I saw somebody say something on social media yesterday, and that people are kind of trying to avoid it. Not that he hasn't played well, because he's been wearing them the whole time, but his shoes been coming off kind of often. And I know these new shoes are super light and, you know, almost are more like track shoes in a way, and that's kind of the deal that they're going. He's featured all over Slam magazine, but his shoes are coming off a little bit too often for my liking. I'm
curious what the ratio of shoes popping off to Under Armour athletes are.
That's right.
Can we get the ratio of other Under Armour athletes and how often their shoes are coming off?
Does Under Armour even have any other NBA players besides Curry and now Fox under Curry?
They've definitely got some. I'll look it up, but it's not like anyone else has a shoe deal. But they've definitely got to have more people.
Yeah. So his shoes are coming. I don't know what to do with that, but they have been coming off a bit. I see some Kings fans now going out and grabbing the shoes and giving some reviews. Look, y'all know those days are done for me. Those days are done for me. I'm not hooping. I'm not messing around. There's no pickleball. It's not happening. But y'all let me know. Let me know how it goes for you. You know, I'll be out there. I'll shoot around. Maybe I'll cop them to just shoot around. But 5-on-5, yeah, those days are done. All right. Could DeMar DeRozan's days be done in Sacramento?
Real quick before we get to that, I've just found the list of NBA players under the Under Armour brand. Beyond Steph Curry, we have De'Aaron Fox, Mo Bamba,
all right,
Patty Mills,
oh man,
Bones Highland,
okay,
Will Barton,
and
of course Damian Lee, Steph Curry's brother-in-law.
That's an insane group.
That's the group. That is the group of Under Armour athletes. It's Curry, Fox, Patty Mills, Mo Bamba, and Damian Lee.
Yeah, that's rough. From the 916, Fox wears big braces on both ankles. That's why his shoes often come off. It's hard to lace them tightly when you have big pieces of plastic going up and then the text line cuts off. But we got you, 916. Appreciate it. I'm just saying. He had that cool play where he put it back on and scored, but they coming off more than if they feel like they did last season. Not sure what to do with that. But if you did cop the shoes, let us know how you like them.
Now I'm going to have to go back and watch Bones Highland tape to find out if his shoes are popping off.
You don't. No one's going to make you do that. You really don't. All right. What we do have to do is getting to this DeMar DeRozan conversation. So basically, ESPN put out an article, and they named the article NBA Intel Scouts and Execs on Early Impacts. They specifically talk about the Karl-Anthony Towns trade, but they then go on to talk about some of the other trades and deals that were made as well. This is from Tim Bontemps and Brian Windhorst, and we want to break down. We're going to read all this for you because it's great stuff, what they had to say about one DeMar DeRozan. So here is Tim Bontemps. Remember when Kings owner Vivek Ranadive had a courtside party at the California Classic Summer League when DeRozan agreed to join Sacramento? Those good vibes haven't lasted. The Kings won Tuesday night at home against the second-place Houston Rockets, but have lost 7 of their past 9 games and are 12th in the West. Then they add on another loss last night. 2 months into the Kings season, league decision-makers are calling DeRozan's fit clunky around All-Stars De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. He is who he is, a West executive said of DeRozan. What he does takes away from what both Fox and Sabonis do because they tend to operate in the same areas on the court. That same spacing conversation that we have heard time and time again when the deal was initially done. Brian Windhorst goes on to say, always a mid-range shooter. DeRozan is taking more shots from that distance than ever before. A third of his shots are 10 to 16 feet, and he's shooting a career best 52% on those looks. He's getting to the line and proving to be a reliable shooter. But as some around the league have mentioned to ESPN, DeRozan is doing it on a losing team. In the past 6 years with the San Antonio Spurs and Chicago Bulls, DeRozan has had one winning season and one trip to the playoffs. Here's the quote from another exec. DeRozan is a highly skilled player who is great to have in the locker room and a guy you want to give the ball to at the end of the game. But his play hasn't driven winning, and it's something that unfortunately has been the case throughout his career, and it's part of why he's changed teams a bunch. Bontemps goes on to say, one positive from the Kings start, when DeRozan, Fox, and Sabonis are on the floor, Sacramento is outscoring opponents by 9 points per 100 possessions across 392 minutes, the 8th best number for any trio to spend that much time on the floor together. So you have execs saying, hey, DeRozan is who he is. He's going to get his, but maybe it's past the numbers, right? Last night, people were saying, Allen, we can't direct anything to DeRozan. He was the only one scoring. Well, is he the only one scoring because other guys aren't getting their touches when they need their touches? Chris the Mom talked about Malik Monk not getting his shot when DeMar decided to still continue to do the mouse in the house with Ja Morant. Keon Ellis, for the 2 seconds he played, he had an opportunity, and DeMar DeRozan decided not to pass to him. So this isn't a DeMar DeRozan thing. I didn't write this. This is from Tim Bontemps and Brian Windhorst, and these are execs. These are quotes from execs saying this is who DeMar DeRozan is, and this is what people were talking about to start the season and discussing the fit. So I'm not necessarily saying that he should be moved or anything like that. My question is 916-339-1140. My question is, should he be completely off the table, or should he also be in discussions when everything else is being talked about? You got De'Aaron Fox being talked about. You got, I don't think anyone's Sabonis is really the one that hasn't been talked about that much, but you got De'Aaron Fox being talked about. You got Keegan Murray being talked about. Of course, Kevin Huerter, Trey Lyles, essentially everybody but Sabonis from what we've heard. And careful, Kyle, give me a look there. Besides that, should DeMar DeRozan also at least be looked at to say, hey, we thought this was going to be the guy, not working out. Let's get out early. And I have no clue what DeMar DeRozan's value is, because the word on the street is that there was a little bit of Sacramento tax going on and that they overpaid a little bit for DeMar DeRozan based on what other people were willing to give him. So there you go. What should they do?
So we can talk about the tax afterwards, or the Sacramento tax, or whatever DeRozan's value is. But whether people agree or disagree, and I have a feeling a bunch of people are going to be texting and calling in disagreeing, I think it's fair more than anything else. There wasn't really anything they said in there that felt unfair to DeRozan. Like when Brian Windhorst is making the point that DeRozan is taking more shots from distance than ever before, but from 12 to 16 feet, he's shooting his career best, right? So he's spreading the floor a bit more, and the thing that he's always done throughout his career, he's still been excellent at. In fact, better than ever before at the mid-range shooting. Obviously, it's only a 15-game sample size, but in those 15 games, he's at 52% right now, right? And then he brings up the point that people around the league are saying, yeah, but you're losing games, right? And I think, again, fair points to be brought up. When he was in San Antonio, Greg Popovich made the call, hey, we're not going to have him shoot threes. What we're going to do is, you've shot about 3 threes a game for your career. The average went down to like 0.9 a game at one point in San Antonio. It's like, you're a mid-range guy, do mid-range guy things. And it did not work, because in the modern NBA, even not great three-point shooters still need the threat of shooting threes, right? That's what we were saying with Sabonis.
And he's taking them.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just saying in San Antonio, he didn't. And it didn't go great. I still remember when they were in the bubble, there were conversations of DeRozan going to the bench with the San Antonio Spurs. And then he got to Chicago and he was a starter in the All-Star game. Like when he is running that style of offense that he does excellent. It's like he says, professional bucket getter. If he's a professional bucket getter, he's out there doing it. And Chicago made the playoffs one time, and they won one game in a 7-game series against the Bucks. So, like, I get the fair points are saying that what DeRozan does well doesn't lead to winning basketball at this stage of his career, which isn't a surprise either, because if it was, he wouldn't have gotten a essentially 2-year, $50 million contract with the Sacramento Kings when he thought the Bulls were going to offer him $40 million a year.
Right. And as far as the spacing and the fit, you hit on something, and I said people aren't going to like this. People aren't going to like this conversation at all. But look, I have a quote, and this guy, legend of winning or whatever his name is, we joke and we call him legend of losing. The Trey Lyles thing that he said made absolutely no sense, but he mentioned DeMar DeRozan coming off the bench. I quote tweeted it. I roasted him. And a lot of people in Sacramento really did roast him. But luckily, he said more than just bringing DeMar DeRozan off the bench. But that is something that I don't think is, again, when you're scuffling like the Kings are scuffling right now, everything should be on the line. If I can talk about bringing Keegan Murray off the bench and seeing what that looks like, I think defensively you can't. That's why Keegan is going to stay put. But if I can talk about moving people, trading people, like we said, anybody can get it. I'm not going to sit there and mince my words. I think you could take a look at DeMar DeRozan coming off the bench. I think you could.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean,
I'm not saying I would do it. I'm saying if I'm looking at the coaching staff like a tech meeting, right? And here's on the agenda, hey, how can we stop losing games? If there's an intern in the corner that said, maybe we could bring DeMar DeRozan off the bench for a couple games, I would at least give them a couple minutes to listen to them.
Okay. So it's interesting because when he's on, he's on. I know when we had the round table, we were talking about he ran the same play 8 times in a row, and it was successful, and they just kept going back to it because he's professional bucket getter. And last night he got to the free throw line 14 times, which when Memphis's offense wasn't executing at their highest level and the Kings were just taking shot after shot and they weren't going in, like, you'll take that. Unfortunately, the Kings had 14 offensive rebounds, so they kept getting shot after shot, but it's like you'll take that 14 free throws and you knock down 13 of them. The Kings will take that all day. It's just the style of offense when it isn't working, it shuts down everything, and that's been well documented.
But I would even argue that what he did last night, what we saw last night was, I would honestly, desperation out of necessity. But that type of slog play, get to the free throw line, that is not good for a rhythm offense that needs to get looks, feel good, stay warm, stay moving. That's not good.
Which the Kings don't have anymore.
But they're still, and that's what we're going to get to with Jill Adge, they're still trying to run that.
Yeah.
So we're saying the same things in different ways. They're still trying. You can't try to run that offense and then also have DeMar DeRozan trying to do mouse in the house all night. It just doesn't fit.
Sure, but if that's the case, then DeRozan was a bad fit from the start.
And that's what people were saying.
And DeRozan and Monk playing together is not repetitive because they do things differently, but if that's 40% of the players on the floor, it messes things up a little bit. Unfortunately, Monk has become a distributor type player since he moved into the starting lineup. You brought up the fact he was sitting on those 5 assists until the end of the game.
You didn't hit, but you almost did.
When at the end of the game, they were just clawing and scraping. And they talk about this in the NFL where it's like you just are running the ball up the middle and it's just physical and you're wearing yourself out. You're doing it 3 yards at a time, basically. That's what it felt like the Kings offense was doing at the end. Was Memphis has a punch. We just don't got a punch back. It's Fox take a shot, DeRozan take a shot. If we don't got it, we're just going to go down on the other end. And the Grizzlies were blowing past them in transition.
Let's get into that offense conversation, what they're running, their schemes. It's going to get a little bit in depth here, but I do think it will match what your eyes are seeing. We're going to try to put some some words to it and some phrases to it. And Jill Adge, who does a lot of great stuff covering the Kings and is just a huge Kings fan and Kings supporter. She broke this down beautifully, and we are going to get into what she had to say yesterday. Hang with us. This might explain why things just aren't working. We're back in about a minute. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Spurs. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
I'm Craig Ashton with the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. It may sound contradictory for a personal injury firm to wish you a safe holiday season, but we at Ashton & Price wish that no one has to suffer an injury in an automobile collision. But if you're an accident injury victim, you can lean on Ashton & Price to do all the legal legwork and introduce you to the best medical care providers in the area. So during this holiday season, you can focus on your health and your family. So from all of us at Ashton & Price, we advise you to have the happiest and safest of holidays.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
I can't stand you, Kyle. We have a DeMar segment, and you come back with this.
You know what I've been trying to do is when we get into our game previews, play this song, but yeah. I just kind of bumped it up at this point. You know?
I hear you.
Look, we talked about this, what was it, last week or the week before? It's like, we should just run this into the ground. Like, how cool is it?
It's been, I know, and that's why, and I said this earlier this week, DeMar DeRozan won't be moved.
No.
Right? He won't be moved.
No,
there's no way.
They're set on this for 2 years. They are locked in on this guy for 2 years. That's what they signed up for. Maybe if he opts into the third year and it hasn't gone great, they can get out of the contract maybe, but This was a 2-year deal that they signed up for. He's here for the long haul.
Yes, I would agree. 916-339-1140. We have those numbers that we want to get to. We are going to put on our thinking caps here and get a little in depth. But we're going to get to Doug first. From the 916, Nick says DeRozan needs to be moved. When the ball touches his hands, it sticks. The flow of the offense stops, and the team watches him take a shot. DeRozan needs to be traded for some assets. It's not too early. From the 530, I love DeMar, but for his teams to be successful, you need some knockdown shooters around him. And right now, we have none of those guys. I think that's a great call, 530. Everything's going to look bad when you're missing threes. Everything is going to look bad when you are missing shots. So, again, Mike Brown said it. We're getting open looks. We're just not making them. So, it looks worse. Now, again, that's what I said before. Are they missing them because they're not in rhythm? Because maybe you've watched DeMar for a couple possessions and now it's, let me get the rock, right? And now I got to shoot. And it's tough. At the end of the day, these are excuses, right? But there are fit conversations. Gilbert Hernandez on the Sack Chat is upset we're talking about DeMar, says it shouldn't even be mentioned. Well, that's your opinion, Gilbert. Clearly, there are people and nobody's moving anything. We go all the way down the list. So some people don't think we should talk about moving Keegan. Some people don't think we should talk about moving De'Aaron. Some people don't think we should talk about moving DeMar. That's fine. That's why these are sports.
I mean, I don't think we should be talking about any of them, but here we are.
And that's your opinion too.
Again, and this is to Gilbert's point, because I saw that in the chat. Like, this is not a last night specific thing that we're talking about here.
No.
Like, last night, DeMar DeRozan was not the problem. DeMar DeRozan, like we talked about, when he's on, he's on. We saw that in the third quarter of the Rockets game. We saw that last night. He shot 40% from the field, which is not great, but everyone on the Kings was not shooting great in the fourth quarter.
Right.
So, it was Fox was missing shots. DeRozan was missing shots. That's why they ended up not winning the game, despite the fact Ja Morant got ejected with 6 minutes to play, and the Kings had a 3-point lead, and they gave that 3-point lead back.
916-339-1140. First of all, the 209 says, Dougie Buckets, my bleep. What is that Dougie McBuckets' fault? Come on. Don't leave Dougie McBuckets out of this. All right, let's get to Doug, wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Doug? Happy Friday. What you got for us?
Thank you, and things have been going kind of interesting on your show so far today. My couple points are, I just love the passion of the Kings fans, because I'm going to tell you, if your phone wasn't ringing, we'd be winning.
Yeah.
And they only show up when we're losing. So people get kind of excited, but that's the passion here.
Right.
And it's been the suffering of the fans for X number of years and all that kind of stuff. And so when I hear it, I go, no, they're just telling us we love the Kings. So I stay with that. One thing I have learned, and again, I don't coach at the level that these guys are at and stuff, but I learned something early on in my coaching career. Either you change your players or you change your players.
Right.
I change them and make them better, or change them and get new ones. And regarding DeMar DeRozan, the only thing I have on Mike Brown is like, hey, if I got a guy who can do what he does, I better come up with some sort of offense that I can go in and everybody's touching the ball, everybody's shooting the ball, and everybody's happy and stuff. That's up to Mike Brown. That's all I got. Every coach, hey, I don't shoot the ball, I don't rebound, I don't defend. So all I do is I draw it up, and you got to execute. Have a great show. That's all I got.
Thanks for the call, Doug. And look, that's what he's been saying. I'm getting them. He didn't say I'm getting them, but they're getting open looks. And that's what some people will say about Mike Brown, right? He's not taking the shots.
Well, so let's play it back to the Mike Brown quote from earlier, right? When Biederman asks him about the bench, he said, we're getting open looks and we're just not knocking them down. So last night, the Sacramento Kings took 98 shots compared to 80 shots from the Grizzlies. So they took 18 more shots from the field than Memphis. Of the Kings bench unit, so we're talking about bench three-pointers as a total of shots taken from the field. 21 of the 98 for the Kings were three-pointers from the bench unit.
Right.
That's about, 21.6% basically. On the Memphis side, 51.2% of all shots taken in the game were Memphis Grizzlies bench players shooting threes.
That's insane.
Memphis's team was built around, we're going to shoot three-pointers. Or sorry, that was shots from the field for Memphis. So shots from the field for Memphis. Sorry, I said three-pointers. That was my bad. Shots from the field, 51% was Memphis's bench unit. 21% was Sacramento Kings players. So it's a little less with three-pointers, but the point still stands. Sacramento's not taking enough shots off the bench. And then you bring it back to the conversation we're having now with DeRozan, and it's like, I don't really know what the solution is, because this is what they got. DeRozan has been excellent when he's been healthy. It's just the rest of the players are having significant step backs with DeMar DeRozan on the floor.
Yeah, and I'm not going to put the bench shooting thing on DeRozan because, there are a lot of different rotations. The bench ain't shooting because I don't want to say they're scared to shoot, but you're dealing with Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder is thinking, hey, I'm here to help, but I'm not necessarily here. He's like the guy where, your friend where you're moving, he shows up kind of at the end. Hey, if you need me, I can help you move, but I'm really just here to provide the beverages and provide the vibes, right? The movers moved all the big stuff. If you need me to help move some boxes at the end, I can do that for you. So I'm not looking at, and that's the same with Dougie McBuckets and Jordan McLaughlin. These guys were brought in to support a Keegan Murray who was supposed to take a leap, a Kevin Huerter that was supposed to bounce back, and then obviously whoever they're playing with in the starting lineup. So I don't know how much these guys were supposed to be. Look at the bench and Isaac Jones. Look at the bench. Yeah. Who's supposed to be taking those shots?
So it's interesting because last year it was supposed to be Duarte. It was supposed to be Sasha Vezenkov. It was supposed to be Davion Mitchell. And they basically came to the consensus that none of those guys had what they needed coming off the bench. And Brown, we were talking to TC earlier, and he was like, so you can go 15 down the bench. And that's true, but all the way through and through, Mike Brown has insisted we go 8 deep, right? Going back to the Beam Team season, it was we go 8 deep. I've got my 8 guys. Those are the rotations I like to run, right? That's Mike Brown's style. For better or for worse, it's worked out great for the Kings. Right now, it's not working out for the Kings. I don't think that's the problem is the 8-man rotations. That's just what Mike Brown has done consistently while he's been here. So if you get rid of Duarte and Sasha and Davion because they can't crack the rotation, now it's McLaughlin, Dougie McBuckets, Jay Crowder, what was supposed to be Jaden McDaniels, although he never got the chance to make it to the rotation. It's like, okay, now we insert those players. Those players don't have those players are not bringing the contribution that we said we weren't getting from Duarte and Vezenkov and Davion last year. So now you look up and it's like, is the problem the players or is the problem the system?
And we're going to get into that system on the other side. A great breakdown from Jillian Adge. When we return, more of your calls, more of your texts, more of your Sack Chat. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Spurs. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. For your Friday forecast, we're looking at mostly sunny, hazy skies out there for the afternoon. Air quality is unhealthy for sensitive groups today around Sacramento County. Highs will peak in the mid-60s and overnight lows will dive back down to the low 40s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think Happy Honda Days. There's no better time to visit Elk Grove Honda than during our year-end clearance sale in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free world-famous pancake combos from IHOP, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, tacos, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms, taxes, and fees apply. See app for details.
New holiday deals just dropped at Lowe's. Get up to 30% off select major appliances, plus an additional $75 off for every $1,000 you spend on select kitchen major appliances from brands like Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Amana, and Maytag. And don't miss big savings on DeWalt. Save $80 on a DeWalt 20-volt max 2-tool combo kit. Was $229, now just $149. Lowe's knows deals. Offers valid 12/5 through 12/11. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items. While supplies last.
Hey, Sacramento Kings fans, join us for a watch party and live game night broadcast with Scott Marsh and Henry Turner at Tom's Watch Bar this Friday from 3 to 5 against San Antonio. Complete with 360-degree viewing, surround sound prizes, and more. Tom's Watch Bar.
Merry Christmas from Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and we're still celebrating Black Friday all month long. When buying a car, getting a good deal, it's kind of the easy part. Where Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram really sets themselves apart from anywhere else is the experience, from sales to service and everything in between. It's why so many people keep coming back to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's because it's the place where a handshake still means something. And if you've been wanting to experience that Jeep life, there's no better time than now. SacSuperstore.com, located off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course.
Yep, 'tis the season. Hey, if you take pride in your gift giving, here's a great idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so Arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift from the Good Feet store. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville, and in Reno on South Virginia Street.
The Big O Tires Black Friday sale is still going. Buy 3, get 1 free on hundreds of select tires, including our exclusive Big O branded tires. Hurry before the Black Friday sale ends December 8th. Installation required, disposal fees extra, not valid with other offers. See Big O dealer for details.
You know, when it's all on the line, you need a big-time closer, and that's especially true when it comes to your garage door. And that's why I recommend National Garage Door, 638-4554. Whitey Gleason here for National Garage Door. Whether you're looking to repair an existing door or get a brand new one installed, you need National Garage Door. Family-owned and operated. They've been around since 1974 because service is their number one priority. National Garage Door are the region's BSE, that's broken spring experts. Styles, prices, and quality of the new doors will amaze you. Our garage door was starting to sound kind of, and that's not good. So Kevin from National Garage Door came out. He said patching up the old one was an option, but we're getting a new garage door. We're pretty happy about that. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer branded garage doors. They offer sales, service, and installation on all residential and commercial doors and operators. If you have garage door needs, old ones coming apart, or you're looking to improve your curb appeal, let National Garage Door come through for you in the clutch and be your closer. 638-4554, National Garage Door.
Here comes Floyd, throw over the middle. Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Be there December 12th for Thursday Night Football at Levi Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers take on the Los Angeles Rams.
20, one block and he's in.
This battle of NFC West rivals is presented by Rakuten.
Touchdown!
Tickets are available now. Secure your seats today at 49ers.com/tickets.
San Francisco!
Get huge year-end savings on the all-new 2025 Silverado now at Maida Chevy.
With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on select new 2025 half-ton Silverado LT and RST.
And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area.
$8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Now available with special financing, leasing, some of the offers.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. We are 30 minutes away from the last Thomas Rhett ticket giveaway for the week. Well, I think, period. But you will have a chance to, you can buy those tickets, of course, like a normal person. But at 1 o'clock, you could be better than normal and get them for free.
Pre-sale is today, I think, for that.
There you go. Pre-sale is today, but you can hold on till after 1, see if you are lucky enough to win. About to get into this, these breakdowns from Jillian Adge. And I think Kyle is really going to like this, so I'm excited to read this stuff off.
Why? Is it the things like efficient field goal percentage?
That's exactly right. That's exactly what it is.
Nerd stats. All right.
There you go. But
King of the nerds. Let's do it.
Let's first hear from David, wants to be part of the show. What's up, David? What you got for us?
Hey, how you guys doing, man?
Good, good. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, a minute ago, somebody said that Brown's 8-man rotation has worked great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. We made the playoffs once, and we lost in the first round, so I would not say that it's been great.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not, no offense, I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
But so we got a lot going on here, but I think there's two things that stick out the most to me, which is that Brown has always been, even going back to the Cleveland days, always very mysterious about the way he does his rotations. Very weird. I remember when Cleveland was in the championship the year that they lost with LeBron. I can't remember who they're playing, but somebody was balling on that team. I don't remember who, and he just yanked them and put somebody, went the starter back in, and it was like everybody sitting there scratching their heads like, what is he doing? You know,
Right.
He's always had these weird kind of rotation issues. His 8-man rotation won't work because we don't have the depth. And that switches to the other thing. Also, the 3-point defense, we've already beat that to death. But the other part that nobody's really talking about is Monty's risk aversion problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you see teams like the Suns and the Mavericks and these guys, they're going out and they're making trades constantly. And if it doesn't work, they don't sit there and fret up and curl into a ball. They keep moving things until something works.
Right.
And both those teams happen to be good teams. Monty is not played like that. He'll make a move and just sit on it for 2 years and go, well, maybe this isn't working too good. You know, he needs to stop being risk aversive and start taking chances. And I don't mean a chance by signing, you know, some veteran that's sitting on the bench or at home watching TV. That's fine because I like Crowder's game. He's good. He doesn't score a lot, but he's still a good presence and knows what he's doing on the court.
Mm-hmm.
But he needs to make a real move. And that means if he has to come out on the back end of a deal, so, you know, it looks like the back end, just to shake things up, like say you move a Herter and a Lyles and you don't get what you want in return, but you're trying something new and you're trying to do something. You're not sitting there watching everything go by and evaporate like it is right now into nothingness. You know what I mean? And I don't know if that makes sense. He does need to stop being risk aversive. The other thing is, And I saw your quote, Alan, about this earlier. I don't know where it was, but about Keon. I don't understand for the life of me why he's not playing. And I like McLaughlin. I think he's a cool little player. He's very active. You know, he makes some good plays, but Keon is that guy that hits consistent threes. You know, he's a good poker. He pokes balls away. He's a good presence to have on the court. And when you only got 2 guys on your bench scoring, you know, which is what it's been, I think the last 3 games, 2 guys have taken up the bulk of the bench scoring after Monk started. You know, you need to keep your guys in there that are actually scoring points. So I don't know. Thanks for your time, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the call, David. Have a good weekend. Yeah, the 7 to 8 man rotation thing, it's hard to tell if it's based on this is what he wants or this is what he is forced to do. That's the tough thing.
Okay, so let me address David's point here because he brought up the 8 man rotations aren't working.
Right.
In the Beam Team season, when they ran the same 8 man rotation every game, which was Fox, Herter, Barnes, Keegan, Sabonis, Trey Lyles, Malik Monk, Davion Mitchell. They had the number 1 offense in NBA history.
Right.
It worked. From beginning of Mike Brown's tenure until Malik got hurt in March of last year, they won 60% of their games.
Sure.
It worked. It's not working now, but I also don't get why the solution to the 8 man rotation doesn't work because we don't have enough depth. Therefore, the solution is to play more people off the bench.
But you're dealing with, but this is what we're seeing though. I think that's fine that it worked the Beam Team season, but now you're dealing. It didn't. You were a 9 seed. I know there was injury, but even prior to, it's not like they were a 2 seed and then Kevin Herter and Malik Monk got injured, right? So they were never cooking like they were Beam Team season, and then there was injury and you ended up being a 9 seed. So to me, something works until it doesn't anymore, and you need to look at. You just have to be flexible, right? And it's all fine and good. If I won as many games as the Kings won Beam Team season, I was a 3 seed, I wouldn't play nobody else either.
Yeah.
Right? But now that isn't really the case. So this is all along the same lines, and the piece on Keon Ellis, I think we're all in agreement there. This is all along the same lines as you have to be flexible, and something different needs to happen. I really want to get to this, Kyle. So this is and this all ties in together. So great call from David. This is from, like I said, Jillian Adge, who covers the Kings, has a podcast on Believe Network and does some great work, and is also just a huge supporter of the Kings. So this is what she said, Kyle. This is right up your alley. The Kings are first in frequency in dribble handoff, but 25th in efficient field goal percentage and 19th in scoring frequency. The Kings are 23rd in frequency in the pick and roll ball handler, but first in effective field goal percentage and first in scoring frequency. The Kings are 13th in frequency in PNR man, but 6th in effective field goal or efficient field goal percentage and 7th in scoring frequency. So let me put that in layman's terms for everyone. Effective field goal percentage is a basketball statistic that adjusts a player or team's field goal percentage to account for the extra point awarded for 3-point field goal. So she goes on to say, after she writes all of that, at some point, maybe it's time to just accept the Kings won't shoot average from 3. At least this group, this season, with any kind of consistency, playing this version of offense. Move to the pick and roll and spray threes with more frequency and see if you get a difference. And I thought that was spot on, and it really helped me. What is it that we're watching that it's not working? And Jill did a great job to put it into I guess more scientific terms, or what we're seeing versus what is actually happening. This dribble handoff offense, people are doing the Stephen A. Smith meme, people are doing the boogie meme on Karl Anthony Towns, where they're just not impressed anymore because you're doing it, you're frying the you're frying the shot clock, then someone's getting a grenade, or you're frying the shot clock, then you try to get into P&R too late, or you're kicking it to somebody and that person isn't ready to shoot, or whatever it is. The bottom line is that what has to bring it all back together, just like the 7-8 man rotation, when the facts change, opinions change, it's not working. You got to try something else.
Yeah, I think Jill's conclusion is the right one. It's just how do they implement that into practice, right?
The same way they implemented the read and react with DeMar. I mean, that felt like they started going to that a lot more because it worked against the Rockets. I guess it still worked against the Grizzlies. It just worked in a different way because against the Rockets, Kings were hitting threes.
Yeah.
And they weren't hitting threes against the Grizzlies.
The easiest way to explain efficient field goal percentage to people is basically like if you take the same number of 2s and 3s, you shoot 45% from 2, you shoot 30% from 3, your efficient field goal percentage is 45 because 3s are worth 1.5 times more points than 2s.
Exactly.
So it's like if you take a 3, it's worth 1.5 to a 2 and all that stuff, which is interesting to think about because I know some people in the chat and the SAC chat and the text line were talking about like they need to get back to the dribble handoff game with Malik and Sabonis like they were doing last year and things like that.
They're
but
still doing that plenty.
They're doing it, but it's not working the same amount, and that traditionally is a spacing thing.
And I think that's what Jill is saying. It's not that it's not resulting, to Mike Brown's point, in open looks. It's just not, they're just not being hit. So maybe it's just the rhythm of the shot, whatever it is, you got to try something. All right, we're going to have some fun here. And we like to have fun every day, but specifically on Fridays. We're going to open up the phone lines. And this is something that everybody does anyway, but we're literally going to focus in on it. You are Mr. Vivek Ranadive. This is you, the listener, right now. And whatever power you believe him to have, just go with it. All right. Today, on December 6th, it's actually my dad's birthday. I gave him a call. Today, on December 6th, 2024, what move would you make right now if you were in charge of the team? 916-339-1140. I need it in a concise manner. If you're on the text line, sometimes it comes in all broken up. It's hard for me to read. Just give it to me straight. 10 words or less. What is the move you would make right now at 12:41? We got to get to a break. If you were in charge of the Sacramento Kings right now, let's have some fun. And while we're doing that, we're going to be a little bit optimistic how the Kings have a path back to 500. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Ho, 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 ho. Looks like you made the ice list this year.
Santa, don't you mean the nice list?
No, ice, because Prestigio Jewelers carries all the ice you need.
For over 30 years, Prestigio Jewelers has offered in-house financing and fine jewelry. Guaranteed credit approval between $400 and $10,000 with no money down options. Make this Christmas season unforgettable. The perfect jewelry, the perfect price, helping you build perfect credit. With locations in Sacramento, Stockton, Merced, and Fresno, or online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Did you know that replacing garage doors is the biggest return on investment homeowners can get on improvements? Jason Ross here, and let me tell you about the Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, a family-owned and operated company with third-generation owners that's been in business for 71 years right here in Sacramento. With new garage doors from Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, you'll not only get the wow factor, but you'll also know that you're working with a well-respected and proven company. Residential and commercial, brand new garage doors, or repairs to existing doors, they do it all. Take advantage of their free at-home estimates on new garage doors or check out the showroom with no appointment needed. And while you're at it, mention me, Jason Ross, or Sacktown Sports and receive $100 off a new garage door paired with a new garage door opener. Check out their website at ohdsac.com or call them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
It's not your average holiday season. Hold on to your hard hats because starting Monday, December 13th, Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet is unwrapping the biggest power tool sale Sacramento has ever seen. We're turning up the heat with 12 days of unbeatable prices on all your favorite Makita products and much more. Free batteries with tools, free tools with batteries, and bare tools starting at just $99. Come on down and give us a visit at 6701 Power and Road in Sacramento, or shop our Christmas deals online at fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet. Better tools, better prices.
It's time now for your 49er injury report, brought to you by Jeremy Winter, attorney at law. He cares because he's been there. In the loss at Buffalo 35-10, Brock Purdy did return from a shoulder injury that sidelined him the week before. But the bad news was Christian McCaffrey, who went down with a knee injury in the first half and did not return. According to head coach Kyle Shanahan, it was a PCL injury that could sideline McCaffrey the rest of the year. That's very bad news indeed for the 49ers, who are now 5-7 on the season.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
Here comes Floyd, throw over the middle, intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Be there December 12th for Thursday Night Football at Levi Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers take on the Los Angeles Rams.
20, one block and he's in.
This battle of NFC West rivals is presented by Rakuten.
Touchdown!
Tickets are available now. Secure your seats today at 49ers.com/tickets.
San Francisco!
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. We are 15 minutes away from your last chance to win Thomas Rhett tickets out Shoreline Amphitheater. Going to be a great time. That is in September. So I think it'll still be warm enough out there. Probably. It should be.
Yeah.
It is late September.
I don't know. It stays hot until like October now.
That's true. And you're in Mountain View. So what that means, I don't know. I've been to Mountain View like twice, but you're in Mountain View. So
it's 2 more times than I've been there.
That chance comes up in about 15 minutes. We asked the question, what would you do if you were in charge of the Sacramento Kings right now? What would you do? Danny on the Sack chat says, I trade Fox to New Orleans for Herb Jones and DeJounte Murray. I know it's stupid, but that's what I do.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
Hey, Danny, I appreciate you. I like DeJounte Murray. I'm not going to put my stamp on any of this, but Danny, I like DeJounte Murray and I like Herb Jones. I do know that. Was
this worse than your alleged trade that made G-Man almost spit out his food the other day?
No, and I was kidding, all right? And we can have G-Man on, and Whitey's trying to throw me under the bus. Danny, I'll put it to you like this. I've heard worse from GM Danny, or I should say owner Danny, so I don't think it's not terrible.
I said this earlier in the week. I wouldn't even want to really trade Kevin Huerter to the Pelicans because I just have no idea what they're doing.
That's also true.
I have no idea if David Griffin is going to be around next year. I have no idea if the coach is going to be around next year. They might sign Brandon Ingram to $150 million. They might trade him. I have no idea.
Yeah, I guess he's either getting an extension before the deadline or he will be traded. I believe that's what I read.
That's what Sham said. Something's going to happen by February.
Now, obviously, when I say that to Danny, you would at least need a couple picks from the Pelicans as well. But I like Herb Jones and I like DeJounte Murray. What can I say? 916. We knew this was coming. Fire Brown. It's a huge statement play. First coach of the year to be fired, and proves that if you're not winning, your job is in jeopardy, no matter if you signed an extension or not. From Folsom Mike. But who are we proving that to? Because he's gone, he would be gone now.
Yeah.
So are we proving that to the future coach? Hey, no matter what, we'll fire you.
If the unanimous coach of the year doesn't make it 3 years with the Kings, because in the Ronda Dive tenure, Mike Brown's the first one to get an extension of the coaches.
Right.
If the coach of the year unanimously gets fired before the contract extension goes into effect,
it's crazy.
Then literally no coach is going to make it to a second contract in Sacramento. That means it's literally would be impossible.
It's tough, man. This is a tough situation. 209 says 209 says Mike Brown needs to be benched. He's not a good head coach. I'm sure he's an excellent assistant. So let's keep him there. All right, we're going to bench Mike Brown. Has that ever happened? Head coach ever been benched?
Sort of. Remember when Chris Finch last year tore his Achilles and he had to sit behind the bench?
Right. Well, that's, yes.
Technically true. I mean, the associate coach for the Timberwolves was standing on the sidelines and did all the interviews with like Jared Greenberg during the timeouts.
Yeah. The 916 says, if I hear Brown say DHO or some other stupid acronym again, draw up an actual play. Now, that does remind me of something, and one thing that we did not get into, and that's a great reminder. Thank you, 916. What the bleep was that at the end of the game last night? It was Malik and Kevin Huerter playing Ring Around the Rosie. What was that?
Yeah, man, that's a tough way for a game to end. I guess there was a lot of frustrating stuff in that last 4 minutes, like Desmond Bane going over Sabonis for a rebound and then hitting a pull-up shot.
Yeah, and Jaren Jackson did shove Sabonis into Marcus Smart, and Sabonis got that foul called on him as well. But that play was terrible. Yeah. Or what? Actually, I can't say it was terrible because I don't know if the play got blown up. I don't know what I was looking at. I'm not sure. And somebody, oh, they did a great, this wasn't anybody part of the Kings, but somebody just on social media, oh, the Grizzlies did a great job running them off the, you're running a play because you're supposed to run the play to overcome them running you off the line. Of course they're trying to run you off the line. It's a 3-point ball game.
To whoever that texter that sent that in is like, we're already complaining about how the Kings offense doesn't have the right spacing, doesn't have the right ball movement. Imagine trying to run a play after 3 years of not running plays that you practice for an hour at a time. Oh my God, such a waste of time.
What happened? That was terrible. Thank you, 916, because I saw that, and I'll be honest with you, I had it on the laptop because Baby Styles, there was a lot going on, and I had it on the laptop. So then I had opened the ESPN stats, and I actually saw that the game I didn't know what happened. I just saw it was a little bit ahead of my feed. So I saw that it dropped to 2 seconds and the Kings didn't score. And then right after I saw I'm like, okay, well, maybe the Kings got the ball or got fouled. I don't know what happened. Then I saw the play and I just thought that's the worst. That is the worst option for the things that could have happened there. It was terrible.
I guess no shot is worse than a shot, but
didn't he airball? Didn't Malik airball?
I think maybe it was
awful.
I mean, at the end of the game, whatever, but weren't the Kings supposed to be this clutch team at the end that always finds a way to pull it out? Just hasn't happened.
Have they, out of all the last second situations, have they ran a play for De'Aaron? The first night, DeMar passed it into Keegan on the double pump against the Timberwolves, and there was an option there, but I don't think I think the second option was Malik, if I'm not mistaken. In Toronto, that play was for DeMar to shoot a corner three, and it bounced to De'Aaron Fox, and De'Aaron Fox took it, but the play was not ran for him. I don't know if there's been a last-second play actually ran for De'Aaron Fox. Oh, there have been a couple times where a timeout wasn't called.
Okay, so there's the ones like the Atlanta game at home. It was they didn't call timeout as Fox and ISO and Dyson Daniels stripped him.
That's right.
End.
That's right.
The
That's
other
right.
one that was, and I was just re-racking the highlight just to remind myself, is the Miami game. The play was for Fox. He missed the shot, and then Sabonis tipped it back in. So there's been a couple.
Okay. All right. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Steven. Kyle says he's got a question for me. What's up, Steven? What you got? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I gotta make this really quick because I am at work. But my question is: do you think that? Because this is a thought that we were having that I had while you guys were discussing. You were discussing like just the moves that Monty has made. Hasn't really made like necessarily the biggest of all splashes besides DeMar. Come on now. So do you think that really deep down, like Vivek is kind of handcuffing him a little bit, kind of being, I wouldn't say stingy, because I know that Vivek wants to win. He wants, are we sure that like even from Vivek's side that he is financially all in? Like he is willing to spend as much as he wants to without, going into the luxury tax. Do you kind of get my drift and kind of get what I'm saying a little bit?
Yes. Yeah. No, thanks for the call, Steve. Get back to work, Steven. It's Friday. You can't get in trouble on a Friday. How you going to get fired on your day off? Can't get in trouble there, Steven, but thanks for the call. Yeah, we've read off the cap situations and teams that go into the luxury tax, and we know that the second apron is nothing to play with. But, yeah, I mean, you got to spend money, right? I don't know that Vivek has said, very similar to the Giants, we don't want to spend money or we don't want to eclipse something else. I think to answer Steve's question, do I think Monty is saying, hey, I want to make these moves, and Vivek is saying no because that's going to hit us in the luxury tax and things like that? I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I think they've just made the decision over the years to prioritize financial flexibility around 3 players or 4 players making 85% of the cap, right? Like trading Rashawn Holmes was a decision to give up a first-round pick, which would have been about $3 million in cap space plus $12 million in Rashawn Holmes, and that led to Domas getting his extension.
Right.
Or trading Davion Mitchell and Sasha was giving up a second-round pick but saving $11 million against the cap. So it's like
maybe Steven's on to something. I don't know, but you can't expect if you want to sit with, and I know the big fish was DeRozan, but you can't expect to hang with the big boys. If you want to go to high roller table, okay, and we can read off the number. We've done it before. A lot of these teams in the playoffs, they at the high roller table.
Sure, but at the same time, I would make the point that trading those players last year enabled them to re-sign Malik Monk without going over the cap, and trading those Rashawn Holmes in the first-round pick for nothing enabled them to sign Domas to that long-term extension, because Domas was on a nice deal that Beam Team season. He was making like $20 million, $18 million that first year.
Yeah.
Like Domas was on a good deal when he first got here.
Kings Spurs preview when we return. Also, the Kings, they have a path to 500. Let's discuss. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the Capitol for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th with Shriners Children's Northern California, Gurnick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at SactownSports.com.
Finally here. Wendy's new salted caramel frosty. It's cold, salted, yet perfectly sweet, delicious, and it's at the top of Santa's Christmas list.
When it's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free world-famous pancake combos from IHOP, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, tacos, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms, taxes, and fees apply. See app for details.
New holiday deals just dropped at Lowe's. Get up to 30% off select major appliances, plus an additional $75 off for every $1,000 you spend on select kitchen major appliances from brands like Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Amana, and Maytag. And don't miss big savings on DeWalt. Save $80 on a DeWalt 20-volt max 2-tool combo kit. Was $229, now just $149. Lowe's knows deals. Offers valid 12/5 through 12/11. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items. While supplies last.
Hey, Sacramento Kings fans, join us for a watch party and live game night broadcast with Scott Marsh and Henry Turner at Tom's Watch Bar this Friday from 3 to 5 against San Antonio. Complete with 360-degree viewing, surround sound, prizes, and more. Tom's Watch Bar.
At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think Happy Honda Days. Let's explain. Happy is a good thing. We all like happy. Honda stands for quality, reliability, comfort, design, peace of mind, value at resale, and a lot more feel-good words. Days is how long you have left to take advantage of Elk Grove Honda's year-end clearance underway right now. Elk Grove Honda is located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard, or visit us at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Hello, I'm Frank Cock with Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. The thought of investing could be a scary prospect for some and exciting for others. What makes investing scary for some is the fear of volatility. Some investors measure this with the CBOE Volatility Index, or VIX, sometimes called the Fear Index. This index measures expected volatility over the next 30 days. The VIX index dropped to a reading of 14 below the measure of 20 in August of this year, which coincided with a steep stock market pullback. The past 26 times the index rose to 20, then fell to 14 or lower. The S&P 500 is measured higher a year later, averaging 14.2%, with the lone exception being 2015, which saw the stock market lower. This may be causing fear of missing out as investors have been pouring assets into the stock market in the final hour of trading, 9 of the past 10 sessions. This activity has seen the stock market measure higher in the next 12 months, 90% of the time, when the last hour of trading increase coincides with levels close to index highs. Fear of loss or fear of missing out, which will win out for investors. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment to watch videos and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Osaic FA Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Osaic FA is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic FA. Hey, it's time to open up your calendar app for some incredible live events coming your way. This is the Sacktown Sports Live Events Calendar, bringing you the hottest shows in town. Kick off 2025 with country superstars Dylan Scott and Jackson Dean. They're hitting the stage at Thunder Valley on January 10th for a night of hot country hits. Then on January 11th, laugh until your sides hurt with comedy legend Bill Engvall. He's performing live at Thunder Valley, a show you won't want to miss. And the one and only Justin Timberlake is bringing electrifying energy to the Golden One Center on January 15th. This is your chance to see an icon in action. For a more intimate vibe, catch Bryce Vine at Ace of Spades on January 25th. It'll be an unforgettable night of alternative hip-hop. And finally, looking ahead to February 20th, Old 60 lights up Ace of Spades with their unique blend of rock and soul. Get your tickets now because these shows will sell out fast. For details and updates, visit sacktownsports.com. And stay tuned. This is your ticket to the best live entertainment in the 916, the Sacktown Sports Live Events Calendar.
Here comes Floyd, throw over the middle, intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Be there December 12th for Thursday Night Football at Levi Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers take on the Los Angeles Rams.
20, one block and he's in.
This battle of NFC West rivals is presented by Rakuten.
Touchdown!
Tickets are available now. Secure your seats today at 49ers.com/tickets.
San Francisco!
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
One more hour. At least this music is making me feel better. We weren't too pessimistic today, and we're going to get more optimistic because the Kings, they still got a path, man. It's still early. All right. Great. Can God give the Kings a 3-point shot tonight? Is that possible? Please?
Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Please. Is that possible? Let's get to this giveaway. We're giving away a pair of tickets to see Thomas Rhett at Shoreline Amphitheater on September 27, 2025. Tickets go on sale. It went on sale today at 10 a.m. You can still check that out, or you can hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now looking for caller number
5.
Caller number 5. A lot of De'Aaron Fox talk tonight. Caller number 5. Caller number 5. Caller number 5. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. Your chance to win those tickets and hang out with, well, not hang out, but hang out with your friends and hang out with that friend, a pair of tickets at Shoreline Amphitheater to see Thomas Rhett. Kyle will take care of that. Calls are coming in right now as we get into some positivity here for the Sacramento Kings in this last hour. I'll also say this as we were giving the keys to you, Sacramento Kings fans, going back to what someone said, I believe that was Folsom Mike, as far as moving off of Mike Brown. He said, hey, you asked. And the statement would be, if he were in charge, if Folsom Mike was in charge of the Kings, to the players, he said to move off of Mike Brown. To the players, ownership wants to win now. To your fans, we're not going to put up with a losing culture anymore. And 3, the rest of the league, the Kings mean business. That's from Folsom Mike. This is from 209. If they were in charge of the Kings, I'd fire Mike Brown. He needs to go bye-bye. That is from the 209. From the 707, said this several times, Fox is so inconsistent. Time to move off of him. This is an answer to the question, what would you do if you were in charge of the Sacramento Kings? 209, different 209 says the Kings are still way too nice. The 530 says, if I'm Vivek, I tell Monty to go out and shoot for the stars and make whatever moves are necessary to win, even all your picks, ! If for some reason it doesn't work the next couple of years, then you have some players to trade to get a lot of those picks back. All right, keep them coming. Keep them coming as far as what would you do if you were in charge of the Sacramento Kings. Looks like Kyle has found a winner for those Thomas Rhett tickets. So congrats to you. Enjoy yourself. It is coming up in September, so you got a while to get ready. But congrats to you and congrats to all the winners this week. Okay. We're going to keep reading off all of the what would you do if you were in charge of the Kings text. Don't get me wrong. Of course we will. But we can get a little optimistic here. All right. Now, if you look at where the Kings are at, they're 10-12 right now. Okay, they're at 10-12. What that means is that they can get back to 500. I don't want to say fairly easily, but they're not too far. They're not too far away. Okay. Now listen. Now hear me out. Now they have the Spurs tonight, and I know they have not beaten the Spurs yet, but the Spurs are also not very good. The Kings, if I were to guess, were probably favorites in each of the games the first time they played, and we're going to get confirmation but as far as tonight, and I'm looking right here, the Kings are favored tonight. The Kings are favored tonight by, it looks like 4.5. The San Antonio Spurs are not very, very good. All right, so the Kings should have an opportunity. They are 4.5-point favorites to win that game. I know it doesn't mean much this season, but they're not underdogs. They're supposed to win, okay? So you win that one. Now you're at, or excuse me, I think they're 10-13 now based on what they've been doing. So they're sitting at 10-13 after that loss to the Grizzlies. They're sitting at 10-13 right now. So to get back to 500, you beat a Spurs team who you never had any business losing to. After that, one of the only teams, not to jinx it, but one of the only teams that you have taken care against, the Jazz, you host the Jazz on Sunday. Okay, 6 p.m. Then after that, I know this team has had your number, but they've been injured. There's still drama with one Brandon Ingram. They kind of stink. They just got DeJounte Murray back. They have less of an identity than you do. No Zion Williamson. They're all over the place. They've been injured. Elfrid Payton had 20 whatever assists for them. They let him go. So you can get over the hump, or not get over the hump, but get back to 500 against the Pelicans. So you, again, Sacramento Kings, are being given so many gifts. So many gifts. Last night you had a gift. No Ja Morant last 6 minutes. Didn't want the gift. Tonight you get the Spurs. Another back-to-back. You got a back-to-back where you got to face the Grizzlies. Last 6 minutes, no Ja Morant. Now you get to face the Spurs, who just aren't very good. So you get the Spurs. And I know everyone's saying, Allen, you keep saying that the Spurs aren't very good. Well, they're not supposed to be, but they play very well against the Kings. So you get a back-to-back, no Ja Morant last 6 minutes, then you get the Spurs tonight. You beat the Spurs as you are supposed to beat the Spurs. The Kings will be favorites in the next 3 games to get back to 500. They're 10-13. So you beat the Spurs tonight. You take care of business against the Jazz at home. And then the game added from the NBA Cup weirdness, this coming Thursday, you finally vanquish the Pelicans, who are still trying to figure out things. They're not very good. They've been injured. They've been dinged up. Even for you, Sacramento, you should be able to take care of business. So the path to 500 is right in front of your face. 3 games, you'll be favorites in each game. You get the Spurs, who you should be very familiar. Are we going to see Malik Monk switched on to Wemby again? Hopefully not. But if you do, can you guard the 3-point shooters? Stephon Castle, Champagnie, can you guard these guys?
Champagnie. Julian Champagnie.
Well,
like Champagnie.
I'm calling him Champagnie because he plays like champagne against the Kings.
It's been 3 years now of Champagnie crushing the Kings. He's right up there on the list of like Kings killers all time.
He is.
He's right up there.
You got Champagnie, a.k.a. Champagnie. You got Harrison Barnes, who didn't do much. Okay, Stephon Castle, the rookie. He had a pretty darn good game. Can you keep these guys? When CP3 hit that dagger, can you just take care of business tonight? You get the Jazz, who Colin Sexton's always ready to go. He's been a trade target for teams. Can you beat the Jazz? Walker Kessler might get moved too. The Pelicans, I don't even know who the Pelicans are running out these days. All right, and the 209, you keep saying the Spurs aren't that good. Yeah, I know 209. I just said I keep saying that. They say newsflash, neither are the Kings.
Yeah,
nicely done.
That's kind of funny.
That's nicely done, 209.
I appreciate that.
That's nicely done.
The Spurs thing, you brought up the Chris Paul hitting the dagger threes, and we were talking about it with Marcus Smart earlier. Like the last few games, it's just been these random dudes that are just hitting 3-pointers against the Kings. Like when it was against the Hawks, it was Garrison Matthews. Garrison Matthews is just burying threes. I was just like, why is it that against the Kings, just these random dudes just start knocking down 3-pointer after 3-pointer after 3-pointer recently?
Yeah, and there's always somebody, and we're just tired of it continuing to happen to the Kings. But there's your path right there for everybody that in the Allen. Stop it. It's still early. If you're in that camp, the path to 500 starts tonight. This is the only way.
Well, it especially starts tonight because then you come back home for the Jazz. And I've been saying since the start of the year, against Portland and Utah, if you go 6-2, you're keeping pace. If you go 7-1, you're gaining a game probably on the rest of the league. And they've already dropped one to Portland. So home game against Utah, that one is one of those that's really going to hurt because most teams are going to win on their home floor against Utah. If they lose on the road to the Spurs, sucks. They've already done it this year. Margin for error is going down. But the Spurs are probably going to be a 40-win team this year.
Yeah.
Barring injury to Wemby, the Spurs are probably going to win 40 games this year. So I think we can chalk up the Spurs at this point to be better than we expected.
Let's get into that Spurs preview part 3 on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, MediShare members like it a lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before December 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee, so you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 15th, so call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number, 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE, 877-26-BIBLE.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking it to 2 p.m. Nick says the question is it still in Monty we trust? Nick from the 916. Only you can answer that, Nick. Only you can answer that. For me personally, I'm just going to keep saying December is a huge month. December is just a big month. I don't know if that means that they need to win. I know that means they need to win games. I don't know if that means they need to make a move. All I know is December can't go poorly. If December goes poorly, you're in panic mode. And the rest of the NBA knows you're in panic mode. You know, you got...
Stop believing Monty McNair.
There you go.
Stop believing Monty McNair. Stop believing Monty McNair.
I believe that's Lance Woods. Shout out to Lance Woods.
Shout out to Lance. Keith Smith, who covers the NBA, and he's always locked in on cap situations, things like that. Keith Smith even said, Keon Ellis not being in the Kings rotation baffles me. That was this morning. So again, people are just really curious and confused as to what is happening out here in Sacramento. Let's continue the conversation. We're going to get to the preview for the Spurs part 3. I mean, we know what the Spurs are bringing at this point. We know. As we put the keys in your hand for the Sacramento Kings, what would you do if you were in charge? 408 says, put DeRozan on the bench and put Monk in the starting lineup. Monk's already starting. Find a defensive center and move Sabonis to the 4. Monk, Fox, Murray, Sabonis, and enter new center.
I think the better option, not moving DeRozan to the bench because they're not going to do that. The better option is way to get Keegan to the 3, of another 4, and then Sabonis at the 5. I think is to the texter's point. I think I've been wanting Keegan to play the 3 for a while. It's just probably not going to happen at this stage of the game. But I think Sabonis still needs to be the 5 because whoever's the 4 is going to be offensively sitting in the corner and catching the spray threes, right? It used to be Harrison Barnes. Now it's going to be Isaac Jones, Trey Lyles. You know, that's the role of the 4 in the offense. So I think your better option is finding a 4, a lengthy defensive 4 who can also shoot spray threes.
Well, the other thing is too, when it comes to the Kings right now, it's just, are you shuffling the deck on a Titanic? That's what people are wondering. But if you don't shuffle anything, you don't know. Here's a question. Would it look worse? And I just mean worse from an optics perspective. And I don't think, like I said, I wouldn't bring Keegan Murray off the bench because I just think you need his defense. But would it look worse to bring Keegan Murray off the bench or DeMar DeRozan?
I think look worse DeMar DeRozan because he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
In terms of actual production, it depends who you're putting into the starting lineup, right? Because in this theoretical situation, you're either bringing in a backup 3 in the sense of, Keegan moves to the 3 or I guess in both cases you're bringing in a 4 because you would theoretically have DeRozan on the bench, Keegan at the 3, whoever at the 4. So who's the person you're bringing in? Is it Crowder? Is it Isaac Jones?
And that would look terrible.
Yeah.
Right? That would look terrible. Even Trey Lyles, but if Trey Lyles was what we all want him to be, I'm just thinking you have to mix something up.
I was going to say, even if it's Cam Johnson, like via trade, I still don't think I think that the optically having Monk go back to the bench, DeRozan play the 2, Keegan 3, Cam Johnson 4 would optically make more sense versus DeRozan or Keegan both going to the bench.
Yeah. Keegan can't come off the bench because of the defense. And by the way, Keegan locked up Ja Morant. He had him in a bad place. And Ja Morant was so frustrated that he was a brick and couldn't do anything and was getting abused by DeMar DeRozan that he threw a tantrum and got ejected. Now, it wasn't a foul, and I also don't think that Ja Morant should have been ejected, but, the pointing, the cussing, some refs can handle it, some refs don't. But Ja Morant, and as far as Keegan is concerned, that's what's so tough about Keegan right now. He's having good games. It's just they're losing, and you're continuing to want more. And I'm not even saying that's realistic.
Before the show, when we're doing our pre-show meeting and coming up with stuff to talk about, my favorite conversation was us talking about Keegan because we both watched the game. We're both looking at the box score, and we're just both like, was this a good game from Keegan or was it a bad game? It was like the most Keegan Murray game, right? He shot 60% on 2-pointers. He shot 14% on 3-pointers. Yeah. He locked up Ja Morant on defense, and he finished with a double-double, but he was also a -4 in the box score in a game where the Kings lost by 5. So I'm just like, we both have watched so many Kings games, and we've analyzed this, and we just both can't tell. Was this a good game, a bad game? Like we couldn't come to a consensus.
It's good. It's a good game. It's just not good enough. Not for this team.
I guess so, because anyways, Keegan is such an interesting case right now because they need him in the starting lineup because he's guarding the best players on defense each time. But the shot isn't there, but he's playing great when he gets to the paint. It's really interesting.
916-339-1140. Let's get to Brian, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Brian? What you got for us?
What's happening, man? How you doing today?
Good.
Good. Hey, listen, I just tuned into your show, man, and I caught wind of the Keegan Murray discussion. One of the things that I've been thinking about for the past week and talking to my friends about this is I think that they personally should start looking at bringing Keegan off of the bench. And here's why. He's got no confidence right now in his game. And he's got the same demeanor he's always had since he's been here. But you can see that he's so apprehensive about everything. And maybe it would be good for him to start the game on the bench, watch what's happening in the game, and maybe it relaxes him a little bit more coming into the game. I know there's not a whole lot of options that we have with this roster right now, but, he played, 40 minutes last night? I think it was 40 minutes.
Yes, he played a lot.
Right. And I think it's wearing him down a little bit. Now, look, this keep it 100, right? Fourth pick of the draft. So he's got to eventually get into, you're going to have to be that star player getting picked that high in the draft. And we have a lot of expectations of him. But the thing that I would like to see with this team right now, and I don't think we have a whole lot to lose, I would like to experiment with having Jay Crowder in the starting lineup instead of him. And here's why. 4 scorers that you have in the starting lineup right now, I mean, with Keegan, you'd have 5, right? But we know he's not scoring very much these days, and we know his confidence isn't there. I think Jay Crowder, quite frankly, could bring a little bit of dog to this team to start off a game, and I think we need that. I think too many times teams get easy shots on us. I'd like to see some people on their behinds going out to the lane. I'd like to see some people feel a little bit intimidated by playing with the Kings. And I think you're going to lose a little bit with Keegan's defense being on the bench to start the game, but I think you can change the mentality a little bit of this team. You got 4 scorers in the lineup with Jay Crowder. You don't need him to score. And even if he comes into the game, starts the game off, and gets a couple of fouls, okay, you're not going to lose a whole lot. But I think there just needs to be an attitude change, an attitude adjustment, and that in its current state is what I think needs to happen with the Kings, with the starting five, with the mentality. Just interested to hear your thoughts. Know it's kind of out of the blue, but I think that it would make a difference from a mentality standpoint, man.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Brian. That was awesome. And it's something that we have discussed. Obviously, the main thing is, well, Keegan right now is guarding the other team's best player, and it is wearing on him. We can tell, right? Those couple games, I mean, he had a decent game against the Rockets, but you could see he's dropping his shoulders. When he fouled out a couple games ago, he's pulling out his jersey. It's a lot. It's a lot for a guy. They're asking him to do a lot. And I'm not against, when you are losing games, you're 10-13, I would try just about anything. Okay, so I'd put Jay Crowder in there. The thing is, I don't know, okay, does Keegan get hot and then you put him back in the line? You know what I mean? I don't really know how that works.
That was the one thing that I would disagree with Brian on, because I appreciate that he provided an alternative and a plan for it, basically. It's the Jay Crowder option is what he was going with. I think the issue is, if you make that move, is that going to help the confidence boost or what he was talking about and getting back into rhythm, only to then have him inserted back into the starting lineup and we're right back where we started before? I just disagree with that part of it, but I appreciate that he at least gave us an alternative option.
Well, that's the thing. Do you now put him back and now there's that added pressure? I am for trying anything right now and figuring the rest out later. As far as just the Kings winning basketball games, I do feel like Jay Crowder would be the pick to do it. The other thing is asking Keegan to do less, which is something you can't really do since, unfortunately, Keon Ellis is in the doghouse. I want Malik Monk to start, but we read something from, I believe it was Will Z Stats last week, as far as Keon Ellis being able to go. Keon Ellis would have been guarding Ja. So does that give Keegan just a little bit more a breathing room to shoot the basketball and not worry about that? So if you're not going to bring him off the bench, Keegan, I think the main story here is Keegan can't continue to be asked to do this much. However you get him to do a little less, we got to figure that part out. All right, let's continue on with that preview. We also have some prop talk as well, and we're continuing to read your texts and answer your calls. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The holiday driving season is here, and my good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an awesome holiday oil change special going on right now. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for up to 5 quarts of full synthetic motor oil with the online coupon. Go visit jiffylube.com right now, find a location near you, and get that $33 off full synthetic oil change coupon now. Most vehicles are covered, especially vehicles and diesel are extra. You got to show the coupon for discount. See the store for details. Happy holidays from Jiffy Lube.
Here comes Floyd, throw over the middle, intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Be there December 12th for Thursday Night Football at Levi Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers take on the Los Angeles Rams.
20, one block and he's in.
This battle of NFC West rivals is presented by Rakuten.
Touchdown!
Tickets are available now. Secure your seats today at 49ers.com/tickets.
San Francisco!
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is expanding. I guess you could say the Super Shop is getting more superer. That means more for you, more apparel, more equipment, more shoes, more gift ideas, more of everything you want. If you're looking for the right gift for the golfer in your life, let the friendly team of Hagen Oaks experts help you find the perfect gift. From golf bags to golf balls, from golf pants to golf shirts, from rain gear to golf gloves, Hagen Oaks has it all. And much is on sale. Visit the Hagen Oaks Golf Superer Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80, or find us at HagenOaks.com.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Ready for winter? Forecasters are already predicting record sick days. Don't become a healthcare statistic. Fight sickness with fitness. Create a daily workout and stick to it. Let the Good Feet store help you meet your workout goals. With Good Feet Arch Supports, the pain in your feet, knees, hips, and back become history. And Good Feet Arch Supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Visit goodfeet.com for an appointment or just stop in. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville, and in Reno on South Virginia Street.
Ho, 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 ho. Looks like you made the ice list this year.
Santa, don't you mean the nice list?
No, ice, because Prestigio Jewelers carries all the ice you need.
For over 30 years, Prestigio Jewelers has offered in-house financing and fine jewelry. Guaranteed credit approval between $400 and $10,000 with no money down options. Make this Christmas season unforgettable. The perfect jewelry, the perfect price, helping you build perfect credit. With locations in Sacramento, Stockton, Merced, and Fresno, or online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Maida Chevy saves you $8,000 off MSRP on new 2025 half-ton Silverado LT and RST after rebates. Year-end savings on now with $8,000 off new Silverados at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, 30 more minutes with ya. The Jazz are next on the list. The Spurs are sitting at 11-11. They know how 500 feels. They are one spot ahead of the Kings. They are the 11 seed. Kings comfortably, in the 12 seed. This was a crazy statement last night, Kyle, that somebody said to me. I've never experienced anything like this, but last night, as you know, I'm just doing my thing. I'm going off a little bit on the Kings, and somebody responded, and this was supposed to make me feel better. So I go on my rant, and he goes, the Kings are 5 games back of the 4 seed with 59 games left. They have time to adjust and start winning games. Ha ha. Relax. Does anybody else not understand how insane of a statement that is? We are in December, early December, and the Kings are 5 games back. We're talking about being 5 games back of the 4 seed. So remember last season? This is what I said back to him. I hear you, but this is exactly how it happened last season. You're already talking about the 4 seed. Then it will be fighting for the 5 seed. Then it will be fighting for the 6 seed again. Then I said, also 5 games is not a small amount of games at all. We're acting like 5 games is not a big deal. Being back 5 games of the 4 seed is terrible.
Yeah, the flip side of that conversation is, okay, they have 59 games to make back 5 games. The flip side of that is, in 23 games, they already are 5 games back.
He was trying to tell me to relax and use that to confirm why I should relax.
But this is the thing with stats like that. There's always a flip side to it, and it always ends up being 0, right? It's 59 games to jump back 5. 23 games in, you're already 5 back.
Yeah.
We could get to late January, and they're 10 games back of the 4 seed at this point, at which point you've got no chance of making up the ground.
0. 530 says Kings' problems are not that complicated. It's a 3-point shooting. Only Monk is reliable from 3 right now. They get torched every night from 3. They win pretty much every category but 3-point shooting. No way they can make up that differential. They need shooting from the bench in the worst way. They need shooting from the starters, too.
Yeah, shooting from the bench, we talked about it earlier. It's just the amount of shot attempts, and that's the time where I agree with Mike Brown on the problem isn't the misses sometimes. The problem is the not taking enough shots.
Mm-hmm.
That was a problem yesterday, but in previous games, we've played a lot of Mike Brown press conferences, and he talks about that. Also, I'm sorry that our tone sounds kind of panicky right now. I'm not panicked. I know, you brought up the 59 game thing, and we immediately went to, let's talk about the panic side of it. It's not, I don't mean for it to be panicky. We're kind of having fun with some of this stuff, but let's take a breath. We can't even trade anybody for another 2 weeks. No teams are taking trade calls yet. No one's going to make a trade until every player on the roster becomes available on December 15th. I understand we're trying to have some fun with it, but I don't mean to come off as panicky because I'm not at all.
Well, I am. And I'll tell you this much. You lose tonight, you better be lucky there's no show tomorrow. Sacramento Kings. Actually, I would honestly. I'm the lucky one. I can't deal with another L.
We already caught one break that the Portland game was the day after Thanksgiving.
We did. That's very true. Let's take a look at what the Spurs have done in total, not just against the Sacramento Kings. From 3-point range, they're basically middle of the pack. You wouldn't know it based on how they're towards the bottom half of middle of the pack. They shoot it at 34.7%. Like we said, they are sitting in the 11 seed right now. They are at 500. As far as guarding the 3-point line, the Spurs are 11th. So they do defend the 3 ball pretty darn well. And, they've played well against the Kings. They really have. Let's see what they've done in the past here. They beat the Kings. Since beating the Kings on Sunday, they lost to the Suns and they lost to the Bulls, right? In both those games, double-digit L's. So they're just a completely different team. They've been a completely different team against the Sacramento Kings, but hopefully that ends tonight. They're getting a little bit of a breather themselves, the Spurs. They get the Kings. Not that the Kings are the breather, but maybe in their mind it is. They host the Kings. They host the Pelicans. They go to Blazers. So they have a nice little 3-game stretch where they can try to, get back on the right side of 500. And they're going to be scrappy as well. I know we do our prop talk segment coming up here, but I think that the biggest thing that separates San Antonio's performances versus other teams versus performances against the Kings is first game that they played earlier this year. Victor Wembanyama, 34 points, 14 rebounds, 59% from the field. The game on Sunday, 34 points, 14 rebounds, 64% from the field, averaging 8.5 assists in those 2 games as well. So Victor Wembanyama. That's insane.
By himself, 34 points in both games, 14 rebounds in both games, is shooting from the field, quick math, 62%, and is averaging 8.5 assists against the Sacramento Kings to go along with 3 blocks in each game, 1 steal in each game. He put up basically the exact same stat line. The first game, it was 34, 14, 6, 3, and 1. The second game, it was 34, 14, 11, 3, and 1. So Victor Wembanyama is the one killing the Kings.
Yeah, and honestly, the most impressive stat that you read off there might even be the assists. It might even be the assist. 8.5 assists for Victor Wembanyama. I mean, they've been balling. They've been balling. So can the Kings take care of business against the Spurs finally? They also have the Jazz, who, look, we know the Jazz aren't very good, and they haven't done very well against the Kings or anybody, really. They're still holding on to that Walker Kessler trade chip. I believe I read that they still want a pretty decent price for Walker Kessler. So they got Filipowski now, and obviously Lauri Markkanen. Not really sure what the Jazz are planning on doing. They've been losing a lot of games. I'm looking here. They beat the Knicks randomly November 23rd. Since then, they lost to the Spurs, lost to the Nuggets, lost to the Mavericks, lost to the Lakers, who have been struggling themselves, and then got smacked by the Thunder. So they've lost 5 straight. They've lost 5 straight themselves. So the Kings looking to get back on the right side of things. The Jazz play the Blazers today. If you're bored looking for something to watch, that's going to be some high level basketball right there. Jazz at Blazers. And you got to think both of them are thinking, we got to get this one, guys. We got to get this one. We got to get this one tonight, because, at least they get to face off against the other side of the bottom of the West.
Okay, so I looked up one more stat for the San Antonio Spurs before we go over to the Jazz too. So when the Kings first played the Spurs in November, I think it was November 11th. At that time, the Spurs had the 28th best offensive rating in the NBA. And I remember saying, if you can just take away Wemby, however you can, the rest of their offense is not good. Well, that's not the case anymore, because since that game against the Kings, the Spurs have the 11th best offensive rating in the NBA. So the Kings obviously are contributing to that. After all, 2 of their 11 games were against the Kings, but San Antonio's offense has been much improved as they figure this out. So we'll see what the Kings have in store tonight. They obviously just played them on Sunday, so not too different in the matchups and the health. I mean, Malik started that game too. Yeah, and the other thing, I was just thinking about this. What a terrible time for De'Aaron Fox to be going through doing his media tour for his shoes. I mean, this is not, I guess maybe not a terrible time if you are interested in the trade conversations, but this is definitely not how they had it drawn up. And I know De'Aaron is still very thrilled to get out his signature shoe, but this can't be how they drew it up. I mean, they cannot win a game, but I can't stop seeing De'Aaron Fox everywhere. He's everywhere. He's doing stuff with Bleacher Report. He was just on the Run It Back pod. He's got a feature with Slam. He's got a feature with Nick DePaula. So he's been everywhere with Boardroom. So he's doing his thing. They just cannot win a basketball game. Pretty crazy timing here for that release to be in the midst of just a sputtering Kings team. One more segment with you. We got shout outs and closeouts. We have Prop Talk Dog segment, double of everything, including predictions. And then we hand you over to the Drive Guys. Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win.
He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Here comes Floyd, throw over the middle. Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Be there December 12th for Thursday Night Football at Levi Stadium as the San Francisco 49ers take on the Los Angeles Rams.
20, one block and he's in.
This battle of NFC West rivals is presented by Rakuten.
Touchdown!
Tickets are available now. Secure your seats today at 49ers.com/tickets.
San Francisco!
For happy holidays is to think happy Honda days. Let's explain. Happy is a good thing. We all like happy. Honda stands for quality, reliability, comfort, design, peace of mind, value at resale, and a lot more feel-good words. Days is how long you have left to take advantage of Elk Grove Honda's year-end clearance underway right now. Elk Grove Honda is located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard, or visit us at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message
application. Data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text TIGER to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text TIGER to 321-321. That's TIGER to 321-321.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy, and they, as always, want to help you stay warm this fall and to make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection, regularly $119, and that includes a full safety inspection, a full duct inspection, and if your system is over 10 years old, the tune-up is on American Energy. So give them a call right now, offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com. That's the AE, like American Energy, way.com for an instant quote. In business for a long, long time. A+ Better Business Bureau serving the greater Sacramento area. Get in there today at theaeway.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9998 now.
Hey, Sacramento Kings fans, join us for a watch party and live game night broadcast with Scott Marsh and Henry Turner at Tom's Watch Bar this Friday from 3 to 5 against San Antonio, complete with 360-degree viewing, surround sound prizes, and more. Tom's Watch Bar.
The Big O Tires Black Friday sale is still going. Buy 3, get 1 free on hundreds of select tires, including our exclusive Big O branded tires. Hurry before the Black Friday sale ends December 8th. Installation required, disposal fees extra, not valid with other offers. See Big O dealer for details.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Keep the cargo in your truck's bed dry and protected with a bed cover from TruckSmart. Bed covers that fold up, roll up, and lift up are ready to install on your truck. Turn your vehicle into a hauling machine. TruckSmart truck and SUV accessories in Rockland and Auburn.
Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper. We have plenty to go over today with the dog segment, predictions. One note is, and Whitey helped us out with this, one note is that Victor Wembanyama listed as doubtful for tonight. So do I even have to say?
Oh, we can exhale.
I mean, you get a game with no Wemby, a Spurs. The gifts that the Kings keep receiving. I don't even want to say it, Kyle. I don't even want to put it into the universe because it's just not possible. It's just not possible. What could happen with no Wemby? It's not possible.
Right?
It's not.
Maybe?
No.
No?
It's not. It's not? This is a W.
Harrison Barnes, 25 points?
It's not. It's not possible.
No Black Falcon?
It is not possible. All right. Let's start with our prop talk, Kyle.
Sorry, I didn't have the music ready. That's my bad. Apologies.
We just sit here, man.
I know. It's just so lame.
Yeah.
So lame.
There we go. Great stuff. Just waiting for it to drop. Kyle, what was the name of our last winner, Thomas Rhett?
Oh, our last Thomas Rhett winner was David.
David, congrats to you, David. Enjoy your time out there. All right, Kyle, who are you taking for prop talk? And obviously we can't do the Jazz, but who are you taking for the Sacramento Kings tonight?
So with the impending knowledge that Victor Wembanyama is doubtful, that came in like an hour ago that he wasn't going to play, a lot of the lines have been moving. I know that the Kings were minus 146 a couple hours ago. Now they're up to minus 275. It was Kings 2.5. Now it's Kings 6.5 is the line moving. So
okay.
I immediately went to Domantas Sabonis' numbers and thought to myself, what are we looking at for Mr. Domantas Sabonis? And I'm going to take over on 39.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So
I like that.
If you combine all of them together, 39.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Domantas Sabonis. We had NBA Today on in the studio, and I didn't realize that Sabonis has the 10th most triple-doubles in NBA history. So maybe he doesn't quite get to a triple-double tonight, but he might get 8 assists. He might get 9 assists. We know he's good for 10 rebounds pretty much every game, but I feel pretty good. 39.5, Domantas Sabonis, points, rebounds, assists.
There you go. Last night, we went 1 out of 2. If you trailed us, hey, we're not going to get them all, but Kyle was really close with the 6 Malik Monk assists. He was stuck at 5 for, I think, the whole fourth quarter. So you should have got it.
If I had done what you did and done the points and assists with Malik, it would have gotten there, but it's fine.
Yeah, there you go. So you had that. I hit on DeMar DeRozan. For as much as we talked about DeMar DeRozan today, I did hit. He got over, I think it was at 20.5 points. So there you have it. Tonight, I'm going to switch back over. De'Aaron Fox has not gone over the line of 23.5 4 games straight. They again find themselves in desperation mode, and because of that, I think if you act now, it'll probably move to 24 before the game starts. But right now, I'm looking at it. You can get it at 23.5, and you have to think that it's been 4 straight games. His points per game, he's doing his media tour right now for the shoes. His points per game has dropped under 28 points per game. Now he's back down to 27. He needs a heater. And I think a Spurs team with no Victor Wembanyama is a perfect time to, I don't want to say stat pad, get the W, but get what you need to get.
Yeah, you could argue that the law of averages is saying that his average goes down after the 109 points in 24 hours.
Yeah.
So you could argue that, but you know what else is the law of averages? He went 0 for 7 from 3 yesterday.
Yeah.
Some of those threes going to start falling tonight, right?
That's right. So that's what we have for your prop talk. So please play responsibly, but we feel good about it. Some others that maybe don't feel as good about, Chris Paul at 8.5 assists without Victor Wembanyama. That feels like a lot.
I'm trying to think who is going to be in the starting lineup tonight for them.
Well, Sohan did not play the last time they played the Kings. So he was some type of hybrid point guard last season. So if the Kings take care of business, I don't see how Chris Paul gets 9 assists. I don't.
So I'm looking it up real quick. In the few games that Wemby's been out this year, they've actually been playing Sohan as like the point center, basically. So he's played center with Champagny and Barnes and Chris Paul, and Devin Vassell's going to be out tonight, but Devin Vassell, since he's coming back, would be the starter, but I think it's going to be Castle probably. So
note Devin Vassell, who played he played really well against the Kings a couple days ago. No Devin Vassell and no Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, and also no Trey Jones, which isn't as big of a deal.
Yeah,
but
he doesn't really. I think they're going to move him. He doesn't really play that much, and I think he's pretty talented. I don't think he's as good as his brother, but he's pretty darn good.
Yeah, and the first time that they played, I remember back in November, it was the first game Devin Vassell was coming back from injury, so they've gotten a mixed bag against him, but nope, no Devin Vassell tonight.
There you go. All right, Kyle. The line's going to move a little bit for the Jazz, so we don't necessarily need to worry about the line. We got the Kings winning. Let's give final predictions on the game tonight, Spurs Kings.
Let's just go Kings 105, Spurs 102.
Okay, so you don't have them covering at 4.5. I'm going to be honest with you, brother. Neither do I. I have the Kings winning. I have the Kings. I have an ugly game. I very similar to you, Kyle. I'm thinking 111 to 108. I see the Kings winning. I see them still messing around for some odd reason. I would love for them to blow it out, but I don't see them covering, but I see them getting back on the winning side of things. No Devin Vassell, possibly no Victor Wembanyama. Come on.
Yeah, I think the odds are kind of indicating that direction because it's only been a couple hours since they announced Wemby was doubtful tonight, and so that line is shifting fast. It went from 2.5 to 4.5. Some places it's 6.5 right now. So they're telling you and this is what I said in the last segment. Wemby has cooked the Kings. 34 points, 11 rebounds, 8.5 assists in their two matchups. So the Kings will be just fine without Wemby playing.
We'll do dog for that game as well. Thank you. Can we get a Keegan Murray game? I'm going to go Keegan Murray for my dog tonight. Sacramento. Thank you, Keegan. I'm going Keegan.
I believe in him. He had 13 against the Rockets.
Yeah.
He had 11 yesterday. Say he gets 14.
There you go. Who's your dog, though?
I got to keep riding the hot hand, man. Isaac Jones is killing it. Keep riding the hot hand until it lets me down. I'm going Isaac Jones all the way through and through. Hot Honey Jones, Dr. Jones, whatever we're calling him. Just going to keep picking him as the dog until he stops dogging it out for the Kings.
Let's get to the Jazz game quickly. Obviously, we have the Kings winning. My dog in that game, for some reason, I just think because of Colin Sexton, I'm going to go Malik Monk. I just think Malik Monk's going to have a big game.
I like that. I was kind of thinking the same direction there. So, you know what? Let's just do double Malik Monk. How about that?
Thank you, Father.
Let's do it. Double Malik Monk, man. Double Malik Monk dog against the Utah Jazz.
There you go. Thank you for listening to the Allen Stiles Show. Great job this week, Kyle. Shout-outs and closeouts. Just going to give a shout-out to Pops. Happy birthday. Celebrating out there. Hope you have a good one. Kyle, any shout-outs before we get out of here? No shout-outs for Kyle. We got a break. Thank you to all the callers. Sexer Sack Chatter has been a great week with you. Drive Guys coming up next. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Jay Johnson. Until Monday, secure the bag, like the bean.
Christmas music is everywhere. The